What is going on? I am cleaning my teeth and getting ready for the stream. You are probably watching this on the replay. Welcome in. I'm Charity, aka NiceComps. If you like weird, strange, and unusual folks that talk about weird stories, shenanigans, and reselling, then I'm your girl for you. If you like normal, not the place. We're gonna get in our tiki-taki friends here too, so let's get that started. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. Even if you're not watching this live, I should see it afterwards, and I will go ahead and respond. You can find me on all the different social medias. I'm just NiceComps everywhere. And it's Thursday. It's exciting. We're steaming clothes and talking about the Poshmark changes. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah. So if you are watching, like I said, on the replay, feel free to fast forward a little bit as we welcome in all of our friends from the TT. Brandy is here. Good afternoon. Technically, it's noon. So technically, it is afternoon. I'm just getting everything prepared here. I'm setting up, getting my little notebook here prepared for doing all of our photographing today. We got a little bit of everything. So I'm excited. We have like a couple banger pieces actually in here that I forgot I even had. Tammy Medford is here and Debar is here. ML is here as well. And Douglas, welcome in, you guys. We are going to be photographing clothing to resell. I sell on eBay, Poshmark, Depop, and Macari. A little bit on Grail, not a whole lot. A little bit over there. So we are photographing kind of like a variety today. So we got some Y2K. We've got some modern. Got a couple bangers, like I said, that I totally forgot that I had. And I don't even know what they comp for. I'm the garage sale girl. I'm a holler for $1 girl. So I usually am getting stuff for anywhere between like 50 cents to $1 at a garage sale. So a lot of the stuff I don't comp. I just go off of like sight, touch, feel, how meaty and beefy does it sound? And then I buy it. Oh my goodness. I am just a hot mess. I was loving on little Jack. So I got little Jack here. So let's get that cleaned off here. Gotta bust out the, lint roller on a string situation. Tenacious T is here. Welcome in, Chaz and Wanda. We're getting started here in just a second. I'm just allowing everybody to get on. We had a whole bunch of people register for this. So I want to give them the opportunity to get onto this. Obviously, registration was free. It's free $99, which is the best price. All right, get all those off there. Like I said, I was loving on my little Jack. So I can't be photographing and having hairs on me because it's just going to get onto the clothing. So you got to give yourself the old lit roll. Gabby, what is good? Blazin and Lynn, happy October, you guys. This is exciting. October is fun in our house. It's my son's birthday in October, and my husband is actually a Halloween baby. So that's always fun. Thanks for the likes, you guys. Oh my gosh, we have over 400 likes already. That's insane. Holy smokes. Okay. All right. We got a good amount of people in here. I do need to get a couple things steamed. I usually have all of this ready to go by the time you guys get in here. However, Justin and I spent the morning literally going over all the new Poshmark structures, which I know is like the topic of conversation everywhere. And I just wanted to kind of get like a metric and a handle on the percentage situation of it. So it's interesting. I definitely have some opinions. We'll probably be going over that. I probably have the same opinions that most have, although my opinions may slightly differ only because my cost of goods is so low. So Paige and Heather. So I am going to just steam a couple things while I've got you guys here. I always take like stuff like this. Like it's a pair of Nike pants. These are definitely a little older. These are a women's pair. And I don't do anything crazy with the steaming. I just use my little like mitt thing here. And I don't forget it again because I don't want to burn my hand. Hey, Chelsea and T. So I'm just getting a couple things steamed here. So my question to all of you guys is, how was your day so far? Where are you? What is happening on this beautiful and fantastic and wonderful Thursday? It is gorgeous outside. Oh, honey, I think we got a package. It is gorgeous outside. Obviously, something has already been delivered to my house, which is a normal thing. Anyone that's ever joined me before on here knows I am all about getting items delivered. I literally, if I can live my life and never go into a regular store, I would be happy. I get like crazy anxiety. I do not like going shopping, which is so funny because what I do for a living is reselling clothing. However, when I'm reselling clothing, I am not going in stores. I'm going to beautiful garage sales and enjoying the great outdoors. Annie is here. Spirit Energy is here. Oh, I love that name. If I miss you guys saying anything, I apologize, obviously, in advance. Like, it is not an intentional situation. It just, the chat goes so fast sometimes. It's hard for me to keep up. But I always try to kind of scroll back and look through. Again, if you say anything and I miss it, feel free to ask again. It's never rude to say the same thing, ask the same thing again. Because a lot of times I think, anyone that streams live knows this. Sometimes it's just hard to keep up. So, all right. So I'm just getting a couple little things here done. A couple little bangers. Nice little vintage made in the USA shirt. So this is how I steam stuff. I don't get super wild and crazy with it. I try to like keep the steaming to a minimum because time is money. But when I have a t-shirt like this that I know it's going to look better, if I literally just take my little mitt here and steam it for 2 seconds, then it's worth it to me. And I use this mitt because if you go back, I don't know if anyone's done this, but if you go back through my like super early TikTok videos, I have one in there that's like, I burned my hand. And I took this steamer, you guys, and I literally cooked. I cooked my hand. It was so insanely painful. I don't know if anyone in here has ever had like a burn before, like a pretty good one. It's no joke. You know, you see those stories about people that go through those really horrific things and they get like super bad burns and stuff. And you just don't even realize like how bad that stuff can happen until it happens to you. And then you think about how much worse it is for them. It just feels so hard. So yeah, you guys share this out if you can. Let's get more people in here, get everybody coming in and hanging out. I do a lot of tips and a lot of tricks and a lot of stuff that kind of has helped me with reselling. We have really only been full-time for a short period of time, but we are absolutely like killing it in my opinion. I mean, I'm not making $200,000 a year yet. I want to make that, but we're doing well and it's replaced my income almost completely and I love it. So yeah, Annie, oh my gosh, I cooked it so bad. I couldn't list or do anything for literally like, I think it was close to 2 weeks. Like it was so, I couldn't type. I couldn't do anything. All I could just do was sit there with like, I had a whole bunch of different kind of like burn creams and stuff. And I mean, I was really lucky. It didn't scar. And, there's a lot of people that, have way worse situations happen. But it was no good. Nobody wants to do that. So get yourself one of these things here. If you steam, I don't know if anyone's ever seen these. I have them up in my BioE. If you go over to the little linkater, it'll take you over to the Smile store. They're not expensive. It's like $5 or something like that. I heard someone say that they tried using an oven mitt. I don't know that I would say that was a good idea, and I'll show you why. So the difference between this and an oven mitt, by the way, this is like a vintage Burberry. I got this at a garage sale for 50 cents. So, and I totally had forgotten I even got this until I found it in our garage hoard this morning. If you are new to the channel, I have like so much stuff because I source so much at garage sales that we're still catching up. So this is different than like a oven mitt. So it's got like a plastic thing in here and it's thick. So it protects your hand and it keeps it flat like an ironing board. So if you're in here, whoever it was that asked me that question or that said, oh, I tried using an oven mitt and it didn't work. Yeah, that's not going to work. Don't use an oven mitt. The steam will go through it. Please be safe. Safety first. Do not hurt yourself. You want to make sure you're getting the ones that have like the meatiness. Monica Deaver is here. Hello. Tenacious, thank you for all the love. Will you be getting a storage at some point? Annie, I hope not. I hope I stay on top of it enough to not need that. Oh my goodness. Hubs would literally be like, woman, you're sourcing so much. Like, I don't know. The only time I would consider doing that is if I really got into like heavy retail arbitrage. The problem for me with retail arbitrage though, is it requires me going into a store to get the stuff. And if y'all know me or don't know me, I get like really weird, anxious stuff in stores. Like the buzzing from the neon lights up top, I can hear it. So the entire time that I am in a store or a grocery store or anything like that, all I hear is and it sounds like a bee, like constantly. So if you'll ever notice with me, all my lighting, like when I take you guys around the house, it's all like these little kind of lights and stuff like that. I do the overhead in here. I had to find a special light bulb that didn't drive me crazy. I do the overhead in here, but like turning the overhead light on in our house is like a no-no. We have like recessed lighting that's on a dimmer that we use. It's a brain thing. Martina, hello. Jennifer, yeah. So the answer on that, Annie, is I hope not. I hope I don't need a storage unit. Another little vintage Burberry here. Another thing I got. These are a pair of suspender men's wool trousers. So inside of this waistband is a whole bunch of different buttons. So if you ever see a pair of pants that's got like a whole bunch of different buttons around the waistband, a lot of you guys probably already know this, but I didn't grow up with like a guy in our home. It was my mom, my brother, and I. And so I just wasn't exposed to a lot of like men's dress wear or anything like that. And so I didn't know what those were until I had gotten a pair of Carhartts that had like the internal buttons inside. It was an old vintage 90s pair of Carhartts that had that inside. And I was like, what in the world are these? And that's how I learned what that was. So, I think that we only know what we're exposed to in our lives. And for me, I just wasn't exposed to that stuff. So, but heck, I'll pick these up all day, every day, especially because, guys, these fit in with the eclectic grandpa look so well. And if you don't know what eclectic grandpa is, go on Google and look it up. It's an aesthetic that's really popular. Are you just tempting me with oh my goodness, you guys, can I sneak a bite of avocado toast? I'm totally going to do it and be weird. Yes, I want a bite of that so bad. Come to me. All right, I have to have a bite of this, guys. Oh, wow. Whoa. Homemade sourdough bread. Homemade sourdough bread with avocado, little herbs and spices in there. Oh, that's delicious. Oh, that's delicious. I know I'm totally having a bite and eating on the stream, but you know what? That's what we do. When you work all day, you just take a bite when you can, right? Okay, finished getting these out. I also had somebody ask me about my steamer this morning in a message. If you messaged me about the steamer, I did just reply right before I got on here. I wanted to make sure that it was still in stock, because the last time I told people to go get this steamer, it wasn't in stock, and everyone's like, oh, it's sold out. So I was like, okay. So I checked. It is back in. It is the Pure, what's it called again? Pure Enrichment Steamer. If you go, like I said, into the old LinkedIn on my bio YOE, you can go over there and you can find it there. These are really cute. These are like, seriously, look at these. Look at how cute these are. Little Burberries. All right, we got one more thing to steam here, two more things to steam, and then we're gonna get some photographs. Vicky's here. What's going on, Nora? Thanks you guys for sharing this out. Okay, we got our viewership up a little bit there. Hey, Tammy. Yeah, TT's really particular about they want you to have so many viewers before they push it out again, and I want to make sure everyone gets a chance to get in here. We are going to talk a little bit about Poshmark. I know that you guys probably are curious as to what my thoughts are on that. I had some people ask me yesterday, so if you messaged me yesterday, either here or on IG or anything like that, I'm not ignoring you. I just literally kind of needed to like figure out what I thought about it before I had an opinion on it. I wanted to like make sure that I knew kind of the ins and outs. Sometimes with that stuff, especially mathematical stuff like that, it takes me a minute to get it. Once I get it, I'm good, but it takes me a second because I flip my numbers and stuff around pretty interestingly. So I just really wanted to get a handle on it. So I will go into that once everybody's in here. If you guys are interested, if you're not interested and you're all burnt out on talking about the Poshmark changes, then I'm not going to worry about it. But if you are curious or if you have any opinions, please feel free to say. And if your opinion is different than mine, that's cool. No judges, guys. No judges. This is a no judgy channel. I love everybody. I love all of their opinions. I think everybody's opinions are valid. Does that make me a little optimistic and cheery-eyed? Probably. Do I operate in the world with rose-colored glasses? Absolutely. That's just who I am as a person. That's, you know, who I've chosen to be as in the age that I am now. I don't think I used to be as optimistic. I think I used to be a little bit more just, you know, financially driven and a little bit more harsh, I think, in my younger days. But you get older and things change, and sometimes you soften a little bit. And I think that's happened to me a little bit. Not in a bad way, in all the great ways. By the way, this coat is a literal banger. I don't even know where I got this. I don't even remember getting this. That's what happens sometimes. You get stuff and it's like you've had it for a while and it's just like, wow, this is amazing. I don't even know where this thing came from. So crazy. What a crazy jacket, right? It's like totally like a thrashed rocker. It kind of reminds me of something that like Stevie Nicks would wear, or like, I don't even know. Like, this thing is total rock star. This has rock star written all over it. All right, is that the last one? We get everything. Okay, I think we got everything steamed. So this is kind of my method for steaming. I'll share with you guys. When I'm going to do photographs, I try to get stuff hung and then some stuff steamed the night before. That way it's up and everything has a chance to dry. And then while I'm photographing that stuff, then I've got kind of the next section of things already steamed and ready to go. And I just kind of cycle that through. And I've got it all, I'll show you. I've got it all hung up here just on this long bar. Justin just put a closet bar up in our room. And that way I didn't take up the whole closet because that's where I keep, I don't know if you can see it, but that's where I keep like a lot of the shipping supplies and stuff. I don't think you guys can see it. Let me go that way with it. No, maybe. Anyways, inside the closet there, that's where I keep the shipping stuff. So little inexpensive solution. Those little bar things were $2. There's an old board on top that's got some boxes. And then all the stuff just hangs up there. So if you've got a small space, which I do, I operate this whole business in this tiny little room. You just got to maximize. And that totally is a maximizing trick. Take your closet thing, get it on the bars that stick out from the wall and put it outside your closet. That way you can still use your closet and all the shelves in your closet for stuff. I don't know if that helps anybody, but it definitely has created more space for me. All right, let's see what we got here. I got a sale today though, and they took 20%, so I'm confused. Annie, it probably, if you're talking about Poshmark, it means that an offer was already out on that before midnight last night. So someone had already seen it, an offer had gotten sent to them, or you had given them an offer before midnight last night. Oh, Vicky's got the flamingos. I see those stickers. You know, those make me happy. How else can you survive? Yeah. Just write it out like Mercari. Yeah, I mean, that's what we're going to do, right? I didn't know Poshmark made changes. I'd be interested to know. How do you find the garage sales in your area other than Facebook? That's a good question. So a couple places. Craigslist, number one, definitely. Some people have success on Nextdoor. I haven't found a whole bunch on there. And some people have success on the yard sale app, which I haven't had really much success there. So I would say my number one is obviously Facebook groups. Number two would be Craigslist. But number three, which is probably my biggest source, is what I call tangents. So you're driving down the road, you're on the way to a garage sale, and you see a sign that says garage sale here. And you start going real slow. What I do is I pull over, I get out of the car. If I couldn't tell what the address was, I write the address down, and a little book I keep on my front seat. And then I just budget that into my Google. So on my Google Maps, I'm able to add a stop. I'll add the stop on, reroute, and do a tangent. Unless I can find it easily. If they're like garage sale this way and I can see it down the street, then I don't write the address down, obviously. But tangents for me are almost better than the ones that are already like made, because not a lot of people have seen those. They're on Facebook. They're not anywhere. Someone just decided to have a garage sale and they're throwing stuff out in the yard because they're probably cleaning. And it means you can get stuff for like really good prices. So that's probably where I get the most of my stuff. Okay. Wait, no more 20% on Posh. No. Yeah, Posh has completely changed that. Oh, yes, we went back and forth forever on price. Makes sense. Thank you for clarifying. No worries. Matthias says, what is your thoughts on Poshmark's new selling strategy? And there it is. I knew that it was going to come up today. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do a short and sweet, like 4-minute, what I think on this. And then we're going to do some photographing of clothing. I am going to make a totally separate video on my full opinions and the number crunching that Justin and I did. Now, we're not mathematicians, but we definitely are percentage people. For anyone that doesn't know, before this, I had a full marketing career. So I have done marketing. I understand the way things work. My husband is in charge of an online delivery company. So we understand service fees. We understand transaction fees. We know kind of what's happening in the background and why companies are doing things. Yeah, so let's talk Poshmark and then we're going to get into this. I'm going to get my lighting going here and we will have a short and sweet combo and then we'll do some photographing of clothing. Okay, so if you're just joining us, quick little what I think about Poshmark. So, Poshmark is there to make money and that is their main goal. Now, I don't financially understand Poshmark's back end because I'm not part of the business. When companies do this kind of change, they do it for a couple different reasons. Either an outside source is encouraging them to make the change, meaning that their board of directors or their investors or something on their ROIs, their rate of investment is not coming through. So numbers aren't matching up and they're not meeting their quotas. And that's why you see huge changes like this. They sprung it on you and they sprung it on us for a reason. And it's so they didn't have an uproar in the community before the changes were made and just get bombarded with please don't do this. So that's why they just kind of did it. And Poshmark by nature has always been the most expensive platform in my experience to sell on. The 20% was always a tough sting. You've got discounts on bundles. You've got some people did discounted shipping, which I used to do. I stopped doing that because it was literally eating into my profits so much that when I would make a sale on Poshmark, I would like cringe inside. So the community itself, us resellers, had asked for so long for a change. And unfortunately, here's the good and bad. Unfortunately, I think the changes that they made are so convoluted and so busy and confusing. And I think it's there for a reason. I think that it's confusing for a reason, which is going to make people just say, okay, fine, I'll take the offer. Because, okay, let's start with the good news. Because you guys know I'm a bit of an optimist. And I'm not trying to choose my words. I'm just trying to make sure I articulate how my feelings are on this. I'm a very opinionated person. Opinions are like armpits. Everyone has them. They generally stink. This is my take. The good news is if you are a Poshmark seller, your fees are now lower, right? Okay, well, they're not going to take 20% from me. So that's great. I don't mind them taking 0.599. I think the 1, 2, 3 insertion thing is interesting. I don't like that my percentage is on top of tax. However, that is what they've decided to do. And that still is going to lower the amount that I have to pay out in fees, right? So that's good news for us. Here's the tough news. The tough news is that when you go in and you look now at what it's going to cost a buyer to purchase something, it's pretty excruciating. So we had Justin and I, and like I said, I'm not going to go into all this on this video because I do want to do like a whole separate video on this. But I went in and looked on a pair of pants just to see what a pair of Levi's 511s. This person had them up for sale for $30. They have the shipping at $5.95 because they're a Posh ambassador. I also do believe that this is going to be favoring Posh ambassadors and probably not the average smaller time seller, unfortunately. And I'll get into that in a second here. But just to give you an idea, the price is $30 for these pants. it's $5.95 for the shipping, and then the tax and buyer protection fee, as this is as a buyer, this is what I'm seeing, is $7.95 for a total of $43.60. So you're telling me, excuse me, you are telling me that if I want to go on Poshmark and purchase a $30 pair of pants, it is now going to cost me $43.60 as a buyer to get those. Yikes. Ready, everybody? Oh, that is, what is that? Like a 40% or something markup of what it should be. That's crazy. That's insane. I think that's a 45% markup. So, am I as a buyer going to purchase that? No, I'm not going to purchase that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to message the seller and I'm going to say, hey, these fees are killing me. Can I get a lower price on this? And I'm going to try to nickel and dime that seller in order to get a better deal. So if I'm the seller on the other end, I want to sell these pair of pants, but if my cost of goods was, let's say, $12 on these pants, and they want me to give them a deal on top of it, an even further discount on shipping or a better offer or a better bundle deal or better anything, it is going to dip into my profits so hard that it's going to be tough. Now, for charity, for me, because I'm getting stuff at a garage sale for $1 or 50 cents, I'm okay with it because I can pass those savings on to my buyers a little bit and I can play with the amount. But here is what's happened. Why? Why is Poshmark doing this? Justin and I have come to two conclusions. One, Poshmark is trying to encourage the sale of higher priced items and not lower priced items. So if you look at a $12 item and you look at the insertion fees and you look at everything on top of that, it is not advantageous for me as a seller to sell a $12 item on Poshmark now. Now, if I'm selling a $70 item on Poshmark, because my fees are so much lower now, I can pass those savings on and I've got more wiggle room to be able to offer a good deal to that buyer. But if you are selling a inexpensive item, you are only going to have about a 1 to 3% wiggle room before it starts eating into your profits for anything that's under, like, I think we mathematically figured it out, and it's like 66 to 75 is like the minimum kind of dollar amount for you to not just get eaten alive by the insertion fees and the percentage fees and all of that. So number one, Poshmark is really trying, I believe, into moving into selling items that are higher priced items and not one plush that's in a giant, huge box, because they've got this deal with USPS, which I know that they've been getting flack about for a very long time because USPS has lost so much money with Poshmark shipping. So that's my number one. Number two is I think, and I believe, and this is my opinion, that they are really trying to favor Poshmark ambassador sellers because they're giving these discounts, and there's going to be this Posh Pass, which we have now, which will eventually we'll probably have to pay for it for our customers to get discounted shipping and all of this, right? So they're trying to encourage the more high-end sellers that sell bigger ticketed items, because if you look percentage-wise, and I don't want to get too confusing here, but if you mathematically go in percentage-wise and you're selling a $100 item, your insertion fee is only $3, right? Or whatever, transaction fee or whatever you want to call it. That fee is $3. And then your $5.99 on that, all of that added together is still way below the 20%, way below what you used to pay on a fee. So if I paid if someone bought a $100 pair of pants from me back in the day, as in yesterday on Poshmark, I'm only making $80. Well, now I'm making more than that because I'm only paying $5.99 on that shipping, which is $5.99, and I'm only paying $5.99 percentage on that $3 insertion fee, or not the insertion fee, the tax. So it's low. It's low. It's way lower. It's hecka lower. It's like $10, right? So I've got $10 wiggle room in there to offer a little discount and pass it on to my customer, because I already have the discounted shipping for my customers because I'm a Posh ambassador and I'm selling a more expensive item. The other thing that Poshmark is trying to do is encourage bundles. So again, they have issues. USPS has issues with them. They get flack about this because people send a toy that's this big in a giant Poshmark box, right? Now, no shade. I've done it too. Heck, if they're going to give me the option, I'm going to do it if that's what I got on hand. So they're going to encourage bundles. So what they're doing is they're encouraging someone to put a $20 item in, a $30 item in, a $50 item, a $60 item, a $70 item. They're encouraging this bundle deal because you're getting more stuff in a box. Your buyer is only going to pay $5.95 for that shipping, or $7.95 or $4.99 or whatever it is that you choose, you have set up to have that. So the bundle deals will be a great deal. I'll make money, they'll save money. Higher end items, I'll make money, they'll save money. You know, they're still going to have to pay this buyer fee. But if I'm the seller and I got $10 extra to work with because I'm used to paying 20%, then I can pass those savings along. However, if you're a newer Posh seller, you're not an ambassador, you're selling $20 pants or $15 pants, this is going to hurt. And it's not going to just hurt your profits because your percentage is lower. That's great. It's going to hurt your profits because I don't know anyone that's going to go on to buy a $30 pair of pants and pay $46. I don't know anybody that would do that. Maybe you guys would do that. I would not do that. For me as a buyer, I would not do that. So that's kind of my opinion on that. Like I said, my cost of goods is low. So for me, I'm riding the wave. It kind of is what it is. This is, hopefully they will amend this. But I think that they're doing this from a marketing standpoint. I understand why they're doing this. They're trying to migrate this platform into being a higher end selling platform, designer platform, expensive luxury items platform, because the seller that can afford to have those items for sale is a seller that can afford to probably pass those savings on to their buyer. And the buyer is going to go back to not really having to pay anything extra because the seller is agreeing to eat that cost. Because heck, we're used to paying 20% on that. Anything below $66 that you're selling on there is going to be tough because you have a 1 to 3% wiggle room, and your seller or your buyer has to pay all these fees on top of it. So that's my opinion on it. This is not the time to start selling on Poshmark. Katie, probably not, unless you are selling higher end items. So if you're selling $90 bangers, $80 bangers, great. If you're not, it's just the likelihood of someone purchasing on there with those fees. And I've been through Mercari, guys. I've seen what happened. I've seen what has happened with Mercari sales. I mean, I only make like 4 sales a week on Mercari as compared to eBay or Depop. So if you are a seller that is selling on Poshmark, I would extremely encourage you to one, try to get that Posh ambassador status. And that comes with a whole bunch of little criteria, but mainly sharing stuff. And you can do that through Auto Posher or Swift Seller. You can share your closet. Number one. Number two, even more so, I'm going to encourage you to diversify. And that means cross-listing, listing on other platforms. I am fortunate in that Poshmark has never been a huge place that I sell a lot of items. So my income is not super dependent upon them. I'm way more dependent on eBay, and I'm way more dependent on Depop. But I know there's a lot of people out there that only sell on Poshmark, or that is their main source, especially if you're selling women's clothing. So I'm going to encourage you to get yourself some software to do that. Now, I use a company called Vendoo. This has been way longer than 5 minutes. Sorry, you guys. I use a company called Vendoo, Vendoo. I love them. They are wonderful. Other people use a company called Auto Posher, which is also equally wonderful. It just depends on how you like it. I like the way Vendoo is set up. It's the way my brain thinks. They have a bulk store-wide delist and relist now. They're coming out with an auto share offers like Poshmark has, or Auto Posher has. So they're doing the same things basically that Auto Posher does. It's just the way that it's set up. My brain likes it. So that's where I'm sticking. But if you like something else, go for it. Whatever you like, do it. Now is the time, because I have a feeling that you guys are going to, hey, Kaylee, I just have a feeling you are going to see an insane amount of dips. Now, here's the good news for you if you sell on other platforms. So if you do sell on Depop, or you do sell on eBay, or you do sell maybe even Mercari, I have a feeling, I have a sneaking suspicion that you are going to see an uptick in the amount of sales on there, because people that were shopping on Poshmark are going to get to the end where the checkout is, and they're going to see those fees. And I'll give you guys kind of an idea of what it's going to look like. So I went in, I'm not purchasing these pants. I don't know who this seller is. I literally just picked a random pair of pants out, but this is what it's going to look like here. Let me make sure I am covering any sort of information. So this is what it's going to look like. Let me get down here so you can see it. So the price was $30. The shipping on this store is $5.95, but it could be higher than that if they weren't a Posh ambassador. And then the tax and buyer protection fee, that's that new fee, plus the tax, obviously, that's always there, for a total of $43.60. So if I go to buy those pants, that's how much it would cost me, which to me is bananas. I wonder what they were thinking. It's been so successful in Mercari. Let's try it. Yeah, you know what, Sweetbriar? I think it's that they are just trying to meet their back end quotas, meaning that they probably didn't sell as much as they were supposed to this year. When you've got a company that's as big as Poshmark, you have investors, you have a board, you have all of these things that you have to answer to, and quotas you have to meet. And if you fail to meet those, then things get implemented like this. And I think that is what's happened with this, because the only person that's winning in this whole situation is Poshmark. Nobody else is winning. As the seller, I'm not winning because people are going to buy less from me. As the buyer, I'm not winning because now I've got these fees. So the only other person in this trifold relationship is Poshmark. And Poshmark is winning by not a little jump, by a huge jump. It's not like they went from making 20% to like 24%. And we're like, inflation happens. We're talking some of these transactions, when Justin and I crunch these numbers, are like 40% or more, which is just insane to me. The human in me doesn't understand. The old marketer in me that understands ROIs and meeting quotas and all of that understands. So something happened in that background that has forced this hand. And I'm going to be optimistic about this and look at it like an opportunity for me to make more sales on eBay, for me to make more sales on Depop, because I'm a Depop girl. I love that platform. And we'll just have to see what happens. So that's my opinion on the Posh. That went way longer than I thought it was going to, but I am a little fired up and I do have some feelings on it. Do you have a photo set video? Yes. Let's FBA today. I do. If you go over to the old Tubies, that's Ubies, and just look for NiceComps, you will see a video over there that is a 2-minute video on how to make this, and also links on what it is that we used to get this, whether you use those items or use stuff around your house. One more step for me to become an ambassador. Just need to buy something. Probably will do that now. Yeah, Southern. I would go and look and see if you have any offers on anything that you liked, because if there's still offers out on stuff, you won't have to pay any of those seller fees or any of those buyer fees if it was something that you had liked or viewed or got an offer on before. Let's see. You know what I bought over there to get on? Because Posh for me doesn't have a lot of clothes that I'm into. I like graphic t-shirts. I buy stuff off of Depop and WN. So for me, and garage sales. So for me, I got myself some stickers on Posh. That's what I bought to get that. Oh my goodness. Let's see. I haven't sold much in like 3 months lately. Yeah. And Posh is already, and that's the reason, guys. Poshmark sales across the board have been lower. And I don't know that metrically because I know what their financial stuff is. I know that metrically because I know about talking to other resellers. So I'm chit-chatting with other resellers and they're telling me what their Posh sales are like. And they're telling me that they had, a slower third quarter than they've ever had, a slower second quarter than they've had. And I don't know why the reason is for that. I just know that I've heard that so many times that I'm like, so if I'm hearing that from a few resellers, it's probably a larger majority that are having that issue. Not everybody, but a larger majority that are having that issue. And because of that, I think it dipped in something happened. Something happened with their numbers fiscally, and they couldn't meet something, and so it pushed out this change. And I also think that that's why it pushed it so hard and fast without warning. This may have been something they were thinking of doing maybe like come spring or summer. It is pretty crazy for them to do this in fourth quarter. Companies don't ever do this. This is like a weird, unprecedented thing. As a marketer and doing that's what I used to do for a living, you don't make changes like that in fourth quarter ever. You just don't do that. The only reason you do that is just mere desperation. So something fiscally had to have happened for this to go. How do you know if you're close to ambassador status? Go into your stats and you'll see my Posh stats in your back end. My eBay is fire now. Yeah, nurse, I have a feeling that we are going to see a major uptick in our eBay because there really isn't another female-centric platform like Poshmark is. So you've got Grailed, which is mainly men-centric. You got Depop, which is mainly men-centric. Women are on there for sure too, but the average age group is like 18 to 30. Poshmark fit a huge hole. So Poshmark fit women between the ages of like 21, 22 to like 65. So Poshmark hit like a really large demographic of females. And now those females are going to need somewhere to go. Well, we're not going to the mall. We're not going, to a local store as much. We're going to have to look somewhere online. So if you're an eBay seller, I'd be getting in there if I were you, and I'd be cleaning up your store a little bit. And I want to show you guys what mine looks like here. So in your eBay store, you are able to do categories. You're able to select featured categories, and you're able to make things look really clean and crisp and nice. And if you don't know how to do that, you can just, Tubi search that and figure it out how to do that. But I would suggest getting over into that eBay, maybe running, if I were you, and I'm not you, but if I were you, I would consider running a little sale over there, because people that normally were going to buy stuff on Posh, especially this week coming up and moving into fourth quarter, are going to be looking to go somewhere. So if that same item, wink, wink, that I had on Poshmark is over on Depop or over on eBay, and it just happens to be on like a 10 or 15% sale over on eBay, so it's less expensive and the fees are better, I may choose to purchase that item over there. So if I were you, and I'm not you, but if I were you, I would consider running a little store-wide sale over there. Depop is younger women, Posh is older women. Yeah, Felix, and I would agree with that. I would say Posh still had a lot of younger buyers on there. I sold stuff to 20-year-olds over on Posh that are looking for more of the like girly look, right? Versus the like more skatery look. If you're like a skater girl like I am, you're Depop all day. I was told it was announced at Posh Fest, not sure. Posh Feast. Yeah, I don't know about that, Nora. That's interesting. I haven't sold anything today. Yeah, Tans. My Posh is literally crickets. You could hear a pin drop in there today. What do you recommend for a beginner listing goal? I'm all over the place, not sure. One. I recommend one. Get one item up, get that cross-listed onto all the platforms you want to sell on, and then go to another item, and then list one, and then get it cross-listed to every platform, because it starts with one. Rather than having a goal that's obtainable or not obtainable, just keep going, right? Starts with one. I'll be fine, just like when Macari did it. It's been fine. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, time will tell. And here's the thing. It's going to sting for a minute. People may get used to it. I think we're going to be getting a lot of lowball offers. I'm already prepared for that. So opinion on normal eBay seller profile versus store subscription. Katie, I think it just depends on you. I would go in and look at, there is a couple videos on this of like eBay versus eBay store subscription. If you go to the Tubies, it's Ubies, and they'll lay it out what's on each, and then just look and see what you think's right for you. Oh, well, I just got an offer for $50. So with my fees, I'm getting 43 and charge not bad. Yeah. So you're getting a better deal. You're not paying $10. But when they get to checkout, here's the problem, Annie. They don't see that yet. So they're not going to see what the total is until they go to buy it. And then they can look at the breakdown, which is how I found out what these were, and they can see that. So we'll see what happens on that. Now, if that's an offer that was already out, it'd be different. I don't know. I didn't know you should cross list. Always, Jennifer. It's like having multiple stores in the same town. Do you have a video of all the platforms you sell on, like what sells there? Croc, I don't, but that is a really good idea. I have this amazing little notebook here, as in a notebook I had around the house for free. And I'm going to write that down because that's a great idea. Video on platforms and what sells. Thank you. That's an amazing idea. Yes, I understand, not a good thing for the buyer. Yeah, it's that they're going to get hit. And the thing is, on a $50 item, they're still feeling the sting. Now, if it was like a $70 item, you could say, hey, I know your fees are going to be a little high. I'm willing to go $4 less, and then it'll help cover some of those fees. Because guess what? You're not paying 20%. You're only paying $5.99. So on a $100 item, you're really only paying like $10. So you got like $10 wiggle room, but you don't have that on a $50 item, just metrically, if you crunch the numbers. I would 100% watch that video. Awesome, Katie. Okay, you guys, let's get started. So that went on 45 minutes longer than I expected. I was hoping to sneak in and out, but I was like, gosh, Charity, you know you're going to have a hard time not being fired up about it, because I do have feelings about it, guys. You know, I'm the optimistic rose-colored girl, and I'm always trying to look at the good end of it. I would just say I'm struggling a little bit with this one, trying to find those goodies. How does that sound, says Coley. Coley, you found it. I put a new subscriber sticker up. Put up the new how does that sound? Do you like it? It's got my little pirate hat on it. Actually, that's Isaiah's pirate hat from Disneyland. From when he was little. I have a video over how to set up store categories. If you want to see, yes, Southern, please share that somehow. Tag me in it, and then I will reshare that as well. I will repost that so people can find that. Coley says, I love that one. Just my opinion, because you have to be constantly sharing. Okay, let's do this. Holy smokes. All right, we are starting out here with a Johnny O. This is an all over Texas Longhorns print. Perfect time of year to be selling this kind of stuff. This is a great size too. I think this is what is this? This feels like an XL. Oh, it's a large. It's a pretty good size large though. I mean, that's like a generous large. That is, I wear men's large shirts. That is a large shirt. So I always, in this kind of stuff, I will put large, and then in the parentheses in the description, I may put fits more like an extra large. Please look at measurements. Because if you're getting this thinking it's going to fit like a large, it's not. Will do, says Southern. Oh my gosh. Yes, please tag away. Okay, let's get this sucker up here and get him photographed. So we're going to bust out our little lanyard. I scored this for $1 at a sale. A lot of this stuff I think today is from the same sale. So that's great. I went to the sale, and this is why you should never judge a book by the cover. I went to this sale, and it was just kind of like, I would say, a low to medium income family. And so I kind of had an idea of what I was going to find, and so I started going through the stuff, and they had like some insanely high-end brands. So it just goes to show you never know how people are going to spend their money. It's not our job to tell them where to spend it. It's our job to find a need and fill it, locate a problem and solve it. And so we put it out there, and they either get it or not. These people had definitely spent some money on clothing. So we were able to get some good treasures from that one. And they gave me everything for like 50 cents or $1. My content is quite literally all over the place. I get it, Southern. Oh, wow. She just accepted my counter offer. I made the whole sale. Awesome. Annie, that brings light and that brings hope to the stream. Annie, that's for you. Thank you. Okay, let's get a picture of this. So the first thing I'm going to do, we just got an offer on eBay. Sorry, guys. I always pause for offers because we want to make sure we have the money. Oh my gosh, I've had this for so long. Oh my goodness. Hey, honey, can you make sure I still have this item? Wow. I've had this so long, guys. It doesn't have any keywords in it. It's got AI listing. It's got nothing. I don't have measurements. I got nothing on this. Oh my goodness. I got a measurement in the photo. That's it. Old. It doesn't even have a SKU. It's on eBay. It's the offer. It's the Swiss Tech men's jacket. Let's see.
No SKU?
No, I wish that they'd show you the SKU when you have an offer. They don't have it there. Let's see if I go to revise listing. It's probably on there. Sorry, guys. I'm just pausing for a second here. Like I said, I always pause for offers because it's so important. I don't even have a SKU on here. Ooh, honey. It's a jacket though, so it might be up in the jacket box. That's probably why there's no SKU. I have it for sale for 28 though, and they're gonna offer me 20 on eBay. I won't take it because guess what? I literally have had this in my store for like over a year. I don't even know if I still have this. No worries, it's your job. Thank you. Keep making sales on there. Yes, exactly. Please do. Hey, Sassy, what's that? Yeah, that Swiss Tech men's jacket, the small. Yeah, just it might be up in that jacket bucket. Just let me know. Hey, baby, if we do have it, will you just go in and accept that offer on eBay? Please and thank you. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do when we're taking pictures is we're going to make sure our phone's in square mode. I know this is redundant and I say this all the time, but repetition, repetition, repetition. You need to make sure that your photos are in the 1:1 ratio. Otherwise, when people look at them on mobile, it's going to look like this weird horizontal picture with these two bars on the side. And it makes your item like this big and people are going to scroll right past it, right? So what is more appealing to you guys? Seeing an item that's like this close where you can like see everything, or seeing an item for sale that's like way back here and you can't see the details. So you got to put your thing in 1:1 mode. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to mess around with the exposure a little bit, and I'm going to look to see what makes this look, what exposure makes this look like what it actually is. And what I mean by that is I'm going to show you guys the goods and the bads. Okay, let's do the goods and the bads. All right. Exposures are probably one of the things I see people talk the least about when photographing. And in my opinion, it is one of the most important things because if you are putting something up for sale, it needs to look the same color as it does in person, as it does in the photos, right? Otherwise, you're going to get a naughty puppy, you're going to get a return, and nobody wants any of that, right? So here's the thing. So this is how, yes, that's it. Will you accept that offer from me? Or I can just do it right now. I got my app open. We're going to accept this real quick, guys. And perfect. Yes, please buy this. Thank you so much. Oh, and it's going to Texas. So you know we're about to make some money on the shipping. So please and thank you. Wonderful. Done. Now what I do is, oops, just a second. Now what I do is I go into the item itself. I go down to, oh, they don't have it. If he had contact buyer here, I would send him a little message that says, thank you so much for your order. Once payment is applied, I'll get it shipped out ASAP. If you run into any issues with the item delivery or anything else, please reach out to me. Have a great day. And that's all in a copy paste message. But you can't message him, so I just gotta wait till he pays and then I'll message him and thank him. Why? Because that's what we do, customer service. Okay, so exposures. This is how the shirt really looks in real life. Nice orange shirt, looks just like that. If your exposures are too low, it is going to look like this to someone. It's going to look dark. Look at the difference. Light, bright, out of sight. Super dark. Now, if your exposure is too high, it's going to look like a neon orange shirt, which it is not. So always mess around with the exposures. I'm going to delete the bad ones because I don't want to accidentally put one of those up. That's what it should look like. And if you're wondering how to fix your exposures, if you're on an iPhone, it's super simple. It's just right up here in the corner. Touch it, and then you can just move this bar around. I usually do +3 for anything white. I do 0 for anything just regular, and I do -3 for anything dark. It'll make your blacks look like a rich black. It'll make your whites look crisp and white if they are, and it'll make your regulars look regular if you do the 0. Off topic, I need one of those things for your phone. Where'd you get it? Annie, the greatest invention that's ever happened to human mankind besides chicken sandwiches. I got this from the Smile store. If you go to the old link Dinketer up in the bio, click on it. There's a little thing that says reseller tools to get you started. Click on that, and it's in one of those little categories. I think it's under like reseller tools must have. And just get in there and you'll find it. Make sure you get this one, this brand though, because there's other ones out there. They are way like less quality made. The tabs won't stick in the back of your phone. I've had this for literally, I got this last April. So I've had it for a year and a half, and I wear it to every concert. I wear it every time I do photos, and I wear it at every garage sale because I lose everything. So they're not that expensive. They're the right length. So make sure you get this one. Let's see. What is your favorite reseller app? Gosh, I mean, I don't really use anything besides just Vendu. I guess Vendu because that's where I cross list. So I guess that'd be the answer of that. What is the exposure on the iPhone? It's just up at the top. Annie, it'll do the lightness or darkness on your phone. How does fixing exposure help with red? My red items never show up the color they should. It'll help, Mrs. Paris. You just got to mess around with it. You may have to go lighter or darker. Also, if you are photographing reds, please make sure that your lighting is cool. And this goes for all photos, but you need cool lighting and you need a cooler background. I see a lot of people try to photograph red t-shirts on like the back of a wooden door. The problem is there's so much red in that photo now because the door is warm that you're going to pick up that warmth and your red is going to look like this. It's this insane fire red, crazy red. So grays are a great background. I see a lot of people do white, which is fine. That's not my jam because I can't photograph anything white on it. So I just go with, a gray felt, and that's the most neutral thing you can get. I got to figure out how you schedule these lives. Doing a Y2K haul. Heck yeah, Southern. Go into your live area. Go to live event. There's a thing that says live events. Schedule an event. Boom, it's right there. What is the brand again? That's of this thing here, of this. Gosh, what is even the brand of this? I don't even know. I've had it up in my reseller tools for so long. Project CB. Project CB is the lanyard. So that's the one you're looking for. It's a picture of like the lanyard with a phone attached to it. It's actually even that's my phone attached to it too. Not my actual phone, but that's the phone I use. That's funny. I could not find your thank you cards in your reseller must-haves. Dainty, those are ones I just made myself. So those are ones that Justin made. That's so interesting, actually, Dainty, that you say that. I need to write that down. So I was thinking about doing this and that. I always believe things come into your space for a reason. I think what I'm going to do is create a template for you guys and then put it over maybe like in the Etsy store. I'll make it like super inexpensive just to cover the cost of it for the insertion thing. But that'll be a good place for you to be able to get it and download that. And then you guys can utilize that to go you get it in Vistaprint or Primo Print, or if you just want to, a lot of people just print those out on little labels from their thermal printer, which if I had thought of that idea before all that, I may have even done that. Oh, I really do like those little cards. I always wondered if a mannequin is better or just a hanger. Here's my thought on the mannequin. And I get asked this question a lot. I'm going to photograph guys while we're talking. So here's my take on the mannequin. People are judgmental about themselves. Give me a heart or a hand or something. Give me an emoji, whatever. Give me something. If you have ever been hard on yourself, judged yourself, or compared yourself to anyone, I will raise my hand and say, abso-freaking-lutely. I have done that way more times than I even care to admit. And I'm someone that's pretty gosh dang comfortable with herself. However, we all compare and judge, and we're all so harsh on ourselves, right? So here's my thought on the mannequin. If you use a mannequin that is potentially a different size than the person that's looking at it, or the mannequin is a different shape, color, gender, etc., that person that's buying it is already seeing that item on that type of person. They are not seeing it on themselves. And so I believe, and this is my opinion, and there's nothing wrong with if you do this. I'm just saying, in my opinion, I believe that you are creating an issue potentially where there might not be an issue. For instance, I saw a lot of stuff that is cross aesthetic, and I'm going to give you an item here. let's just use this sick, absolutely insane jacket. All right. What is the aesthetic of this? So many things. 90s rocker, Y2K rocker. It's got a whole like Stevie Nicks vibe. I mean, this jacket is literally absolutely insane. But it also has a new looking like preppy, I want to be a little edgy and alternative look, right? It also has a boho free flowing festival look, right? Well, if I put this jacket and I list it only as one type of keyword, I am going to take this and let's say I describe this as total rock, total grunge, but I don't put some of those other keywords in there, then someone that isn't that aesthetic or isn't feeling that aesthetic may not purchase this jacket. But if I put all of those keywords down below in the description, then I'm feeding a lot more people. Well, I think it's the same way with mannequins. So if you're putting a shirt on a specific body shape, size, color of the mannequin, all of those things could either be encouragers or it could be a deterrent if that person is comparing themselves to what that would look like on the mannequin. Does that make any sense? I don't know if that makes any sense. Mine is burlap, and that's probably better, Bailey, because it's just a real non-person looking thing. So that's probably not as bad. Now, Sarah, I see the little frowny face. This is my opinion. I could be so far from correct on this, but it's the reason why I chose to not go the mannequin route. It's also the reason when I got the things that go inside my shoes that I went with the clear, because it's generic. There's no color or anything to it. It's generic. It's also the same reason I went with the clear shoe things for inside my shoes. I want it to be as easy for anyone to see them in it as the next person. That's how I feel about it. Now, I know a lot of resellers, though, that use mannequins and are wildly successful. So I think it just has to do with your aesthetic. What is it you're selling? What is it you're trying to achieve? My stuff is like dude Y2K stuff mainly. So I don't need to put that on anybody. All I need to do is say things like insane fire drip or crazy print, and that's going to sell. So that's just my opinion. Please don't, take apart your whole store or do something drastic and wild. I think as resellers, we hear advice and sometimes we just climb onto it or clabber onto it. Just take a second. If what you're doing is working, then, don't do anything. Oh my goodness. Drummer lady. Hey guys, you will always get the honest opinion of this girl. Now, these opinions have been wrong so many times. Otherwise, I'd be wildly successful millionaire already, right? So these are just what I'm thinking. Doesn't mean that it's right, though. Oh my goodness. Okay. Universally acceptable. Tenacious, thank you very much. That's what I was trying to say. Sometimes I am not the best at articulating what I'm trying to get across. So I rely on you guys, and that's on the money. I love that you use clear, says Lulu. Yeah, I mean, it just helps to just be like, hey, this is for anyone, right? Do you list the same item across multiple resale sites? Always, Whiskey. And we've talked about this before, but I'll just say it again because repetition, right? So here is my take. Would you rather own a McDonald's in a city, or would you rather own a McDonald's, an Arby's, a Taco Bell, a Burger King? Now I'm going to want a chicken sandwich. Would you rather own all of those? Well, all of those, because there's only certain people that shop at McDonald's. There's only certain people that go to Burger King. There's only certain people that go to Taco Bell, so on and so forth. So if you take that same item and you list it in all those different places, every time you list it in a new place, you're just upping the chances of it getting sold. So if I list that Texas shirt that we just did on eBay, I've got a 20% chance of selling it, right? If I listed it on eBay and Mercari, now I got a 40%. If I listed it on eBay, Mercari, and Depop, I got a 60% chance of selling it. It just helps to up your chances and your exposures of more people seeing it. Also, buyers will look on different sites for the same items to see if it's inexpensive. And if they see your same shirt on Mercari and Poshmark and eBay and all of those are called exposures. In marketing, it's called an exposure. And the average person needs anywhere between 5 to 21 exposures for them to purchase an item. So if they have seen your item on Poshmark and then they're skipping over to eBay to see if they get a better price, they see your item over there. They're still looking for a Texas Longhorn shirt and they go over to Mercari and they see that same shirt there. If they're a 4-item exposure person and they see that item on Depop, they're buying it from you on one of the platforms because they've already seen it so many times. It's called an exposure. Really, nope, there's never a DUMB question. All questions are awesome that I need to do a deep dive on. If someone sells on eBay, it doesn't automatically delist on Depop. It does if you have delisting software. If you don't, you have to go in and manually delist it. But if you have delisting software, like I use, like I said, I use Vendu, which if you go to my LinkedIn up in the bio YOE and go over, you'll see a little thing for Vendu. I believe you get like a free trial or a discount or something over there. You can just try it out and see if you like it. And if on that, when I sell something on eBay, it automatically delists it on a Depop for me and Mercari and the other platforms as well. Hey, Blended. True, I do that. I look through different platforms to see what's the cheapest. Yeah, we all do because we're all looking for a good deal, right? Felix the cat, the wonderful, wonderful cat. All right, Johnny. Oh, this was a large. So one of the other things I do if you are a newer reseller, which I'm going to encourage you to try, is get yourself a cheap notebook if you have around the house, create yourself some boxes. And then what I do is I actually write down the specs from my photos when I do this. That way, when I go to list, I don't have to keep flipping through my phone to find the pictures, and I don't have to flip through to find where I was last. I am someone whose my attention span is not very lengthy unless I'm in hyper focus mode. I have the old A to the D to the H to the D to the yo. So for me, I'm either in hyper focus mode and I can't even hear anyone around me talking to me, or I am like this all moments of my day. So for me, I will be doing listing and then I'm like, oh, I need a drink of water. And I get up and I walk away. Or, oh, I want to go play ball with Jack for a few minutes. And I'll go out to, toss the ball around with my puppy. Something. I'll be doing something. When I come back, I kept coming back and then I'd have to go back into my phone and find where I was on the last photo. And it just took way too much time. So I started just writing down the number of the bag that it's in, the size it is, the brand, and then the chest length, shoulders. And then if there's anything weird about it that I want to remember, like made in the USA, has a pinhole, a flaw, or something I want to remember to put in the listing, I'll just write it down here at the bottom. Then what I do is when I list these items is I put it on, I cross it out with one marker to let me know I listed it on eBay. And then I import it into Vendu. And then once I've cross-listed that to the other platforms, then I mark it off with a pink marker. This system, I have been doing this now for quite a while, and I love it. It takes me 2 seconds to put the specs in, but I tell you what, I end up with like 100% of the time saving so much time because I'm not going back in my phone and constantly looking to find that. Can we put cross-posted on eBay? Yes, you can. You can cross-list anywhere you want to, Golden. Is your background white or light gray? Let me step out of the way. It's a light gray. So if, like I said, if you go over to the Tubi that's Ubies, find me NiceComps, there's a 2-minute video over there on this. It has the exact felt that I'm using because it's a non-shed felt. It's got that. It's got where to buy it. It's got all of that over there. So you guys can go get it. Let's see. Do you make a full-time income from reselling? Colleen, absolutely. But I didn't for a long time. So now I 100% do, but I didn't back then. Let's see. I love you and your channel. Oh, Tenacious, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That makes me feel really good. Also, I love the hair and the gauges. Oh, yeah, we got a little punk skater girl here. I completely felt that yo to my core. Oh, sudden, that makes me happy. Can we put posted on other apps in our description and put the name on platforms? No, Golden, you cannot. You have to keep on platform what's on platform. You cannot talk about eBay on Poshmark. You cannot talk about Poshmark on Depop. You will actually get a notification from them and a naughty puppy violation if you do that. So do not do that. I love the notebook idea. I always see a squirrel and have to go back to Deets. Missy, you and I, girl, we're living the same life. That's awesome. How long did it take you to go full time? It took me a while, Colleen, because I was a dabbler. So a lot of you guys know my story, so I won't do the whole thing, but I started out just selling stuff from after my mom passed, and I wanted to get rid of stuff that I wasn't going to keep of hers. So I dabbled in that. I was still working a marketing job at the time. So I didn't really need the income. I just was like wanting to get rid of stuff. And so I started doing that. And then I fell and hurt myself and I completely crushed my back. I literally herniated a disc like as bad as you can herniate it. And then severely pinched my sciatica nerve. And I don't know if anyone's ever done that before. It is an excruciating pain that nothing helps. And so I was doing a lot of physical therapy and aquatic therapy. And so I wasn't doing any reselling. I literally just put my store on nothing. If I sold anything, Justin was shipping it out for me or my son was helping, but it was just, I wasn't doing anything in there. Then I got back into it for a minute, was doing some garage sailing, building up my inventory. And then we decided to move and we decided to purchase a house. And so I put my store back on vacation mode. We moved down here to Texas. By the time I got down here, my back acted up severely again. And I was back on the couch for like almost 3 months, not being able to move and had to do aquatic therapy and go through the whole situation again. And so I dabbled back and forth. Now, how long have I been steady? I have been working consistently every day for 8 weeks. We are now on week 8 right now, going into week 9. However, the months before that, I was working. I just wasn't working full. Well, no, let me say this. I was working full. I wasn't making full because I was trying to fix my store, find inventory, get rid of old inventory, watching 850 gazillion videos on how to do this properly. Study. So it's really only been going into week 9 is the very long answer to your question. I didn't think so, said Golden. Yeah. Saw a guy taking lots of listing pics and had to post it with stop and took pic to keep items separate. That's a great idea too, Sarah. That's a great idea. Thought it was kind of brilliant. Yeah, that's super smart. Knowledge is power. Guys, let's keep going. Highly distracted today. I have now spent an hour and gotten one thing photographed. So we're going to hammer through these. So the next thing we've got here is an Austin City Limits shirt. I'll show you guys how I do t-shirts. Number 1, make sure that your bottom hem is hidden. Nothing looks worse in a picture than when you can see the top and the bottom hem on the bottom. It just looks very unprofessional. You don't see that in regular photographs of clothing on any other website, so why should it be on yours? Then what I do is I take and I smooth my arms out, then I fold it in, and then I fold it down. Then I smooth my arm out, I fold it in, and I fold it down. Why do I do that? Well, the reason I don't take a picture with the arms out is because by the time you do that, the item becomes so small on the frame because you're trying to leave space all around it. This is just going to allow you to get up a little bit closer to the photo or to the item. Now, this is a good example of something where I feel like I need to go +3 because that's going to give me the true color of the t-shirt. All right, so we're going to do that. Then we're going to get the corners here. This is an Austin Limits. You got a little Willie Nelson PBS t-shirt. Unfortunately, the tag is gone off of this one. So what I will do is I will just take these measurements and I will put these measurements into the old YouGoogly, and I actually have a little thing I use for this, but an easy way to find it is just YouGoogly like chest this length, length this length on a t-shirt. What size is that men's? And you'll get an idea of the size to put on something if it's missing a label. This feels like a little bit of an older t-shirt. So the newer fast fashion t-shirts have that like lightweight flow to them because a lot of it has Lycra in it now. But sometimes these older t-shirts will have that too, where it's not actually what's called paper thin, but it's like a flow material. It's like a flowy kind of feel to it. So I'll get a picture of that. And then since we don't have a tag, we don't get a picture of the tag and move and ride along. Thank you so much for the follow, Colleen. I appreciate that. Wow, what a great story. Hope your back is better now. It is. I have to stretch every morning. I do about 15 minutes of stretching, and I go swimming twice a week, and I'm definitely doing it a lot better. That's where I am right now. 1170 billion. Yeah, tenacious. I feel ya. Thanks, Jessica, for the follow. Rebecca, welcome in. And Pat from Fort Collins, Colorado. I know exactly where that is. I'm from Colorado originally. Okay, let's see. Let's get this in a bag. So we're going to take one of our little bags here. I use 2 different sizes. So I would encourage you to get 2 different sizes. One size, if you're doing inventory like this, that works really well is the 9x12. This is great for t-shirts, smaller items. And then when you have the larger items, you're going to move into the 14x11 bags. This is like hoodies, pants and stuff fits in these. If you want to know where to get these, go to the old link Dinketer and the bio click over to reseller supplies. They're in there. This is the brand I like. I use a brand called Spartan, Spartan. I like those because they don't tear. Anything I can find that doesn't tear, I am all about, because I bought like the least expensive ones when I first got started, which I had to, because I wasn't planning on doing this as a full-time living situation. But I did a lot of the inexpensive stuff at the very beginning, and it was just more of a headache than anything, because things would rip and tear, and I had poly bags tear in, and just wasn't worth it. So, Nurse, I'm so happy to see you. Yes, I love my city. Old Foco. Yeah, baby. Betty's in the house. All right, let's get our measurements down for that one. So that is our Austin t-shirt. I'm going to put NS for no size, because we don't know. We're going to have to look that up. It looks like a men's large to me. Then we've got a chest of 24. We have a length of 27, and we have a shoulders of 20. Yes, I would classify that as probably a pretty standard large. Okay, next thing we've got here is a little Poetic Justice t-shirt. I have sold these before. This is definitely not a vintage one. This is by Ripple Junction. Let's see, do we have a date on here? 2019. So this is modern. However, I will be able to put a lot of keywords in, rap, hip hop, streetwear, street style, 90s, nostalgia, retro. The graphics on it are super, super crisp. It's in a really good condition. Probably like a $17 flip, somewhere right in there. Probably will end up selling it over on Depop, would be my guess. And let's get this photograph. I'm going to get my little handy dandy little get rid of the hair. I'm still waiting for Riz to make us that video on she said that she's got some sort of like trick with Reynolds foil and using it for, little doggy hairs or whatever here. I am very curious about it. So Riz, if you're listening, we need our video, Riz. Where is it? All right, now I'm going to fold these over just like I did before. And then on this, we're going to go probably -3 on our exposure, because it is a darker t-shirt. And if I don't, I'm going to end up with it looking like a light gray, and it is not a light gray. Denise with the chili pepper. Thanks, guys. Those are the ones I use too. Oh, good, Sassy. Yes, absolutely. Do you put the keywords in the title or description? That's a great question, Beth. I usually try to, thanks for the heart, Southern. I usually try to put at least a couple up in the title, but then all the rest of them go down below at the very bottom of the description for me. Mike is in the house. What is going on? Oh, I see Jem. Yo, yo. I always know I'm going to get a yo-yo when Jem comes in. All right, so we're going to get a picture of this. Now, I want to show you guys on the exposure situation why messing with your exposures when doing darker clothing is so important. So this is what it looks like regular, right? With the higher exposure. That looks like a light charcoal gray. And even more so on my end than on your guys' end. Now, but then I go to this one and it looks way too dark. The t-shirt is not that color black. So we are going to put this at just a more regular, let's see, we're going to do -3. and see how that looks. There we go. So here's our three differences. Overexposed, meaning your exposure is too high. Underexposed, meaning your exposure is too dark. And as they say in the Three Bears, just right. That is the actual color of that shirt. So all you have to do is just look at it, look at the shirt. Is that right? Looks good. Moving right along. Can you make a video of exposures? Yes. Did we write that down? We wrote something else down because that's a good idea. I don't think we wrote that one down, did we? Exposures. We are writing it down. It's going in the book, guys. And I get to these as often as I can, but man, I am a busy bird, right? Blended. Yes, please. Yes. Oh my gosh. Did you just make a Goldilocks reference? My day is made. Of course. Are you kidding me? Any old storybook stuff? I'm in. Jessica, you are so welcome. All right. Hustle's in the house. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh. All right. Let's get this little Poetic Justice t-shirt finished here. So we are going to do the shoulders. Now, when you're doing up close on these exposures, it is also important to look at your exposure, right? If I'm under these bright lights and I'm taking a picture of the shoulder, but I'm not cognizant of my exposure on that, then I'm going to end up making it look like a totally different color in the second photo than in the original photos. And I'm going to show you guys what I mean by that, okay? So this is what happens when you don't adjust the exposure again. So I took a picture of the chest, right? I lowered the exposure down to -7 so that it looks like the t-shirt looks again. If I had kept it where it was when I took that last photo, look at that. That is not the color of that t-shirt. Someone's going to look at that and be like, why does their first picture look like a totally different color than that? They're not thinking like, oh, they probably have a 6500K lumen setting, so they're up close to it. So mathematically, that makes sense. There's one person out there doing that. That's probably my husband. But most people are not going to think that. They want to see that continuity. Continuity brings comfort. Everybody say it. Continuity brings comfort. So if you can keep your pictures looking the same throughout, you got a better chance. Howdy, howdy, howdy. I remember that song. Yep. All right. Hey, hey, Hustle. Hustle is in the house. You know he is here to hustle. He is here to sell some items, some soft goods, some hard goods, and maybe a shirt, but probably not, but maybe, because you never know. Okay, we're going to get a picture of this tag, which is obviously screen print. One trick when you guys are doing this took me a minute to figure out. It's just so silly of a thing that took me a second. But instead of laying this flat and trying to get this, just take your hand and spread that for any of the screen print ones, because you will be much happier with the outcome of what it looks like. Okay, and I'll show you guys what I mean in a second. So if I get an up close photo with my hand just behind it, you can't see my hand in the photo, but look at how nice and crisp that is. If I try to lay this down and get a photo of this screen print, I'm going to show you, and I'm going to really try to make it look nice, but I'm going to show you what winds up happening. So take a look at that. Well, A, it's upside down, so let's flip that around. let's actually flip it. Okay, so what happens is it looks all wrinkly there, and you can't read all of the words. But if you put your hand behind it and pop that out, then you're going to be able to see that so much easier. Continuity brings comfort. So we want things to look easy peasy, lemon squeezy, light and bright, and out of sight. Continuity brings comfort, says Jem. And it really does. It's true. It's the reason why you, like back in the day, remember when we used to go like into Hollister? Well, I never did. I was going on Hot Topic, but Hollister, American Eagle, or any of that. And it's like they would have this stuff up on the wall where all the photos were the same size. All the racks are in a certain flow. The doors on the front were both equal with the shutters. Everything is like continuity, even. That brings comfort to people, and they're more likely to stay longer if their senses aren't accosted by things being, you know, a little bit askew for them. I hope that makes sense. Hey, Faye. Hey, Heidi. All right, let's get this sucker put in here, and then we are going to get a picture of our Poetic Justice t-shirt and put that down. Moving right along. 1130 is our number. Where did we put our pen? You know the day's going well when she's already lost 3 pens, guys. Already lost
3 pounds already?
yeah, no pins. There you go. They're just collecting in another part of the room because that is what they do. Okay, so we got poetic, and I don't remember what size that was, and that's why I never rely on the brain there. So that is an extra large. That is number 1130. And do we have a 2.9? Where did our 2.9 go? Oh, who knows? Okay. We are at chest. Our chest is 21.5. Our length is 27. Gazoon tight, honey. Our shoulders are 21. Moving on to the next item. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Oh, I probably just invited someone. I probably just invited somebody. Didn't mean to. Whoopsie Goldberg. Okay. Next thing we've got here is a little pair of Levi's shorts. Not something I'm going to pay a lot of money for. You find these kind of things at a garage sale for 50 cents, you pick them up. You find these for sale at the thrift store for $5.99, you do not pick them up. I picked these up because they do have the thick stitch. They have the whiskers. I wish I was getting these listed a little sooner into the year, but I'm listing when I can list, right? We're opening boxes and what we get is what we get right now. So we're putting these up. And now I am in a part of the country where it is still warm. It is 91 degrees. You guys will see me probably in shorts for this whole year because it is so warm here. Now, a lot of other people are as well. Not everybody though. So my likelihood of selling these for the price I want to get them for, I'm probably going to have to offer maybe $1.50, $2 less than what I would have asked in summertime. It'll just push them out the door. Turn and burn, guys. Don't be holding on to inventory. You know, there's certain things I'll hold on. Like I've got a pair of 20 hole limited release Britain Doc Martens. I'm asking like $260 for, I think. And I'm holding out. I'll send offers out. I'll take, $230 or whatever. I can't even remember the exact price. But I am holding out just a little bit for that because I know what they're worth. But the rest of it, all the other bread and butter stuff, bread and butter is there to help make you money for the next thing. So if I get $10 for these shorts, I then can take that $10 and I can go to a garage sale and get 10 items and turn those 10 items into $10. Well, now I got $100. Now these shorts are worth $100. Then I can take that $100 and I can go buy 100 items at a garage sale. And now I've made $1,000. So now these shirts are worth $1,000. So that's how I look at stuff. I look at stuff like, yes, I may be, giving you these for a better price than I would have got them out for this summer, but that money is just going to get reinvested back in. I think something that happens as sellers is we become physically and emotionally attached to the item without realizing it's happened. You will know it has happened if the following things happen. 1, someone sends you a lowball offer and you're offended. 2, if someone sends you a reasonable offer, but you're trying to hold out for more. Or 3, you are ignoring the offers because you don't actually want to sell it. You are hoping to keep it for yourself. And you see that with people at garage sales. When you go to a garage sale or a rummage sale, we always call it the one special thing. So there's always one thing at a garage sale that someone doesn't want to sell, right? Maybe it's a limited release tape measurer that they are emotionally or financially connected to, and they don't want to get rid of it because of how much they've spent, or a memory, or a feeling, or a smell, or some reason. So they will put it at some outrageous price. That's great for me. I always compliment them on that item 47 times. And by doing that, I sweeten the pot and I'm able to get other stuff in the garage sale that I'm going to make way more money off of. That's way more valuable that they're just giving away because of that thing that they're emotionally connected to. So don't be so emotionally connected to the stuff that's in your store that you're not willing to let go of it and think to yourself, hey, maybe I'm getting $20 or $10 less than what I wanted, but I'm not dipping into my profits. I'm still making enough money. And I can take that difference between my cost of goods, which is what I spent on it, and then what I sold it for. I can use that investment middle, whatever it is, to take that and buy another thing. So I'm going to encourage you guys to start doing that because it really does happen. And that is what happens when you see people that have stores that have, 2,500 items in it, and they're like, wow, my sales are so low. And I'm like, well, if you have 2,500 items, the rule of 20% says that you should at least have 500 of those items go quickly within the next 60 days. If those items aren't going quickly in the next 60 days, then your pricing is bad. Why is your pricing bad? Because you've probably become emotionally and physically attached to that item. I hope that makes sense. Hey, Arizona, what? Oh, I get market value attached. Yeah, it happens, guys. It really does, especially when it's things we picked up where it's like retail arbitrage and you knew you were going to make some money. You're like, man, I went all in with Peter Millar button-up shirts and I got spent so much money on those and now they're not selling for quite as much as they were. Or maybe you went all in on, summer swimwear and now you're in the winter and now you're panicking a little bit. And you're like, oh, but I spent so much money on it. Let it go. Let it go. Use that money to reinvest. Husband singing too. 4-wheel drive takes me out of overtime. Are you talking about Vitellix? Are you talking about these Southern, my shoes? I gotta have them on there, otherwise they flop out. I get sweaty feet. This live brings comfort to my gym. I hope it does. I have had people that are like, you're such a nice person, but you're just too much for me. I'm like, dude, I'm a really nice person, but sometimes I'm too much for me as well. Elizabeth, good to see you. Good to see you. So many Texans. Yeah, I mean, we're a big state. Hello. Ooh, we just got a little, live goal achieved. What? Ooh. Arizona, you like this one? Yeah, baby. Hey, Mom, there's something in the back room. Hope it's not the creatures from above. We never fail, but we're always learning. That's right. Absolutely. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Fast nickel over slow money all day. Right there. Bush Mama, a.k.a. Dana, you and I are living that life. I love it. I'm so happy I found you, Jennifer. I'm so happy you found me as well. Thank you. And I'm so happy to find you. All right, we got our other live goal thing up here. What do we got? It's our subscriber goal. Yes. Okay. So we had a new subscriber yesterday. If you're in here, I don't want to tell you what I wrote, but I went over to your little thing and you have a new little badge on yours, your little subscriber badge. So if you're a subscriber, you get that cute little badge. And like I said, I have been thinking about doing like a subscriber only live and maybe doing it on like helping you with your stores. I just thought maybe that would be a good idea. I don't know. People might not be interested, but maybe they are. AKA, yes, Arizona. Which one's like, shh. Okay. All right. We need to date stamp our Levi's. How do we do that? That's a great question, Charity. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at our little silky tag. We're going to go back to the back silk here. We're going to look for the CW. That is where our code is going to be for the date. After the CW on this one, it says 4812, which means these were created the 48th week of 2012. So these are what I call a post Y2K. Why do I call it a post? Because we have not come up with an awesome and clever word for the era between 2011 and like 2017. There is nothing. Here's the problem. 2012 is technically supposed to be modern. 2012 is not modern. That is a very long time ago. I was in a completely different decade of my age, and I was not as close to the AARP as I am now. So all I have to say about that is that I have created post Y2K. I am claiming it. I'm taking it for my own because I think that it is going to help me sell more items and you in turn as well. So I'm doing, in my descriptive words, I'm doing POST Y2K, all one word. I'm also doing POST dash Y2K. Why am I not doing POST space Y2K? Because then the algorithm is going to pick up that I am claiming that it is a Y2K item, but I am not claiming that. It's like if something has a 90s look to it, but it's not from the 90s, I'm going to write 90s nostalgia, 90s aesthetic, 90s vibe. That's all one word. We don't want to be deceiving, correct? What else do we got here? Thrifty is here. Yes, if you guys didn't get an opportunity yesterday to donate over on Thrifty's page, you can get over there. There's a link in her bio. $1, guys. $1 can help. And if you can't do $1, I get it. Just repost and share, maybe Chris at Peak's video. Thrifty probably has another one that she would say maybe to share. Maybe you can chime in here, Thrifty, because everything helps. I mean, dude, oh my gosh, the videos I've been watching. Like, I can't even. Did you guys see the one of the family that was like in their kitchen and they're like, oh my gosh, it's gonna blow. What do we do? And they're like, get out of here, get out of here. And the shutters came open and the water started rushing through the house. I'm like, oh my gosh. So if you were to be the processor at the University of Reselling, what would be in your seminar? Oh, Southern. What is it? Oh my gosh. That is actually a sick idea. I am writing this down. Okay. If you were the processor, probably professor at a university of reselling, what would be your seminar? That is so good. I am not even going to answer that because I'd have to sit down and think about it. But I 100% want to do like a video or something on that because that is such a good idea. Hey, babe, can you bring me a bucket to throw these things in? They're falling off my chair. That's a really good question, though. Mine is the Smile Store only. I thought you meant professor. I'm going to start a petition from eBay open next year to bring charity on board for board influence. Oh my gosh. I don't even know. Social anxiety. Beep, 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 beep. Alert, panic, freak out, do weird things on camera. Chris at Peaks has links to donate money. Yes, thank you guys. Chris at Peaks, definitely take a look, find him. IG is where I found him the easiest. So maybe take a look over there. I haven't had to pay since July. Wish I could help. I live in South Carolina. We're lucky. Hey, Jennifer, just repost one of Chris's videos. That's all it takes. And that's a free 99. I totally get that, girl. I have dug through couch cushions for mac and cheese money before in my life. So I get it. I'll thank my brain for you. Yes. Absolutely. Okay. What are we doing? I don't even remember. Levi's. Woo, honey. It is strong today. The A to the H, the D, to D, to D is rocking like nobody's business today. So these were a size 8, waist 29. What'd you say, baby? Yeah, but I had to take them like super late, remember? Because I forgot to take them last night. Okay, let's see. What do we got here? Okay, our leg opening. So on shorts, also make sure you're getting a measurement right there because that'll tell people how tight they are. That is 8. Our hips are 17.5, so 35. Our inseam on theirs was an 8, and our rise is a 9, and our waist is a 28. So I started doing this on my jeans. So in the item specifics, I started putting the size that they are now. I put the size that they were and the size they are now in my title, and I also do that in the descriptions. But in my item specifics, I used to put like just the actual size they used to be. But I found I was getting messages that are like, hey, I was interested in these. You have them listed as a 32, but it looks like they measure out as a 30. Is that correct? So I was like, why am I putting the old size in there? Ain't nobody care about the old size. They want to know if it's going to fit the old mid-diddle now. They don't want to know if it's going to fit the old one. Oh, my gosh. Oh, good. Okay. Yes, all good things. We are moving to our next item here. Let's do this sweater here. This is this has got a spot on it. Nope, we are not moving that sweater. So what we're going to do is we are going to take a piece of tape. I am going to put a piece of tape over that spot there, and it's going to go into my will the stain come out pile. If I spray OxyClean and then I put it through the wash and the stain doesn't come out, and it's not worth more than $20, then I am going to get rid of it because ain't nobody got time for that kind of business. Okay, let's see. What do we got next? This is a little Champion fleece. This is not something I would normally pick up if it was any more than $1 because I'm not going to make some insane amount on it. However, it is an XL, and this time of year, this stuff sells really, really well in fall because people don't want to wear a winter jacket. They just need like a bottom basic biscuit zip up. Maybe they're working at the car dealership and they need something to go over their, their Peter Millar button up shirt or their, a Nautica button up or whatever. Or maybe Van Heusen if that's the money they got to spend. So they're just put somewhere, or they're going to a game. They just need something lightweight, walking, jogging, running, outdoors, any of that kind of stuff. These are great for that if you can get them in a bigger size. And then also if it's not super expensive. So we're going to put this up here, and then we're going to take our little lit roller and always double checking the pockets, because we have found a few interesting things. Dog treats, tissues, 20 bucks. What else do we find? Oh, this one's got some goops too, guys. Weird. I wonder, did I accidentally get into, no, because that's all clean. These might have just escaped me. I probably didn't see that on the corner. So what I'm going to do, take piece of tape, put it on the sleeve, run it through the wash. So when I'm getting stuff, I do the S&S test, which is the sight and smell test. So I look at it. Do I see any yuckies? And then I smell it. Do I smell any yuckies? If it passes the test, it goes up for sale. If it doesn't pass the test, it goes through the wash. I will try to stain remove one time, meaning that I'll spray a little OxyClean on it, rub it a little bit, run it back through the wash. If that's not coming out, I'm over it. Unless it is some really outrageously expensive shirt that I think I can make some money on. All right, let's go to something that does not have anything on it. Is this good? Yeah, this is good. Okay, so this is a little Columbia shirt. It's an XL women's. When is this from? This feels pretty current. Yeah, so 2021. So this is a new one. Now, Columbia stuff, the older stuff sells well. The newer stuff, not as much. However, this totally has that like preppy university frat girl kind of vibe to it. And it's a super cute little coral color, and it was $1. So if those things all line up, then it's just smart to get it. If I was getting this at a thrift store, maybe not, because they're probably going to charge, depending on where you live in the country, they're probably going to charge like $9.99 or something for that, maybe more because it's Columbia. And then your margin, your break point there is just so askew that it's not going to work out for you. You're not going to make enough. Your cost of goods is way too high, and your ROI, which is your return on your investment, is way too low. That margin just is like, if you see that margin, you're like, ooh, yeah, and you're hemming and hawing, pass it up. Not worth it. What else do we got here? The couple they found hugging. Oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't talk about it. It's too much. The strings are going to go. We're going to get all teary. We did that yesterday. I can't do it again. I can't do it. It wears me out. Dawn, what is good? Ooh, and Kathleen is here. Kathleen is here. She is ready to hang out and look at some clothing, potentially. All right, so I'm going to mess around with the exposure on this one because the color on this is really cool, and I really want it to come through. So let's take a look. That looks overexposed. We don't want that. So let's go down to, I had it at +3. I was thinking that was going to be it, but I don't think it is. I think we're going to have to do that one here. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, and then we're going to get a picture here of the shoulders. Now, we talked a little bit about this yesterday, or maybe it was the day before yesterday. They've all bled into the same day now. We're going to talk about branding. So remember how I was talking a little bit about exposures, and we were talking about how the average person needs anywhere between 5 to 21 exposures to purchase an item. It's the reason why Coca-Cola still advertises. Do they need to? No, but they want to keep exposing you to it so that it creates that memory and that feeling. Those are all called exposures in marketing. So here is what happens. If I am taking pictures of this and I get the word Columbia and the logos in here as many times as humanly possible, and someone just happens to be looking for a Columbia shirt, and they go through my photos and they see it on the first photo and the second photo and the third photo and the fourth photo and the fifth photo, if that's a 5 exposure person, then they're sold. Now, if they also saw it in my title and they saw it in the item description and they saw it in the specifics, now that's 6 exposures, 7 exposures, 8 exposures. Well, what if that's an 8 exposure type person? They're going to buy it, right? So the more times you can get that logo in the photographs, the better. Now, I realize sometimes you have to kind of distort yourself a little bit to make that happen, but it's totally and 100% worth it. And I just took a picture here. I'm going to show you guys what I mean by that. Let me get a picture of the back of this, which I am once again going to expose that word Columbia, because even if they don't realize they're seeing it in the photo, their subconscious and their brain is 100% seeing that in the photo. All right, let me get a picture of that there. Let me look at the exposure. I don't like the exposure on the back. We're going to go ahead and up that just a little bit. And this is probably one of the hardest colors to photograph. Yeah, that looks great. Okay, so let me get a picture of the tag here. And then I want to show you guys what I mean in one of the photos. Does that make any sense? Southern, I'll see you a little bit later on today. Yes, I'm excited for that. Southern, will you remind me if you're still here that you're doing that so I don't forget? I'd like to join in and check that out. Okay, we're going to get a picture here of the tag of this. Now, I want to show you guys what I mean. So when I'm getting a picture of this hem, I've got two choices. I can either take a picture like this and just show them the hem length, or I can do it like this and get that word Columbia in there. That's another exposure, okay? So look at this, guys. Now I have, let me go into my photos. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pictures. Title 7, specifics 8, description 9. I am exposing them 9 times to the fact that this is a Columbia sweatshirt. So if that's what they wanted, and there are 5 to 21 exposures, I can't hit the 21. Maybe they put it in their cart and come back to it 14 times, because that's who those people are. Those people that keep things in their carts for a ton of million times. Those are called late adopters, and they keep them in the cart for a reason. They need those 21 exposures to commit to that purchase. So get those logos in there. It is going to make a huge, huge difference with your sales. I promise, promise, promise. And that's coming from somebody that literally, did that for companies for a living so that they could sell items. So get that in the photos. All right, we're going to wrap this little puppy up. I'm going to make sure when they open this that they see the word Columbia, because that is going to reinstate the fact that they are getting what they paid for. They will be excited. People that buy Columbia, people that buy North Face, people that buy Prada and Gucci and Coach and all the different things, they're buying those items because, yes, they're quality, but they're also buying them because of the brand of the item. They are brand-driven buyers, not necessarily aesthetic buyers. So the aesthetic buyers I'm going to get because of the description, the keywords in my description. The other buyers I'm going to get because of the fact that it is a brand name. And then you've got brand name and aesthetic buyers. So you got a little bit of everybody. Good story. Good to see you. Big sweaty. That's just funny to say. I'm going to try to schedule it, baby. Good. You got this, Southern. I believe in you. I believe. All right. Let's get this amazing, sick, insane jacket photograph. I mean, this thing is bananas. So I'm just going to go up here on my setup here. I have I've got grate up here so I can hang that. I know it looks like this is going to be in the way when I got to take the picture, but it's deceiving. It won't be. It's just the angle you guys are at. So I'm going to look for anything on here that I want to get off of here. Is there any weird strings that aren't supposed to be here? No. I'm going to make sure all the buttons face forward. I'm going to take the 2 seconds. This jacket is insane. Have you guys ever seen anything like this? If I lived in a cooler climate and I had any sort of aesthetic for dressing in more girl-driven clothing, I mean, I don't even know where this thing came from. I don't even remember where I got this. Some sale somewhere. Brand and function / feature. Marie, on the nose. Thank you. I know, Dawn, is this not insane? Thrifty this is crazy. What's your whiteboard made of? Blended, if you go over to the old Tubies, it's Ubies, go to the old link dinketer in my bio IOE. It'll click you over, and there's a 2-minute video over there on the tube that's Ube, and you will see it over there. It'll tell you everything you need to know about that. Yeah, this is probably the most nuts jacket I have ever had. All right, I'm going to be working hard to try to get this all looking like how I want it to look like. Let's see. Let's take a look. How does that look? I mean, that is legit insanity. That is an insane jacket. Like, where did this come from? I'm gonna Google image this and just see if this is anywhere else on the internet. Just out of like total curiosity, because it's not a brand I recognize. What was the brand? Thrill, I think. Like, it's not. Does anyone know that brand? It is not something that I recognize. No, yeah, it looks like there's a couple of them for sale for like $50. I mean, I think my photos are better than some of these pictures, so I think I'm gonna ask a little bit more because I think I could probably sell this sucker over on Depop. I need a charity dictionary, Ruth. So do I. What in the heck do you ask for something like that? So they're selling for $50. I'm gonna ask more. I think, and the other ones that are on here are not the same. And the photos, like, and here's why your photos are so important. I'm just gonna show you. So if this is any of your guys' listings, no shade, but I would fix it. They are so like, look at how dark those photos are. I don't know if you guys can see it on your screen. They just don't even look like that doesn't look like something I want to buy, right? It's sideways, which is weird. The color is like strange. I mean, I know I'm kind of dissecting this person's photos. There's no measurements in it. So it's like, yeah, they're only asking $25 for that one, which is not that one there. But they're going to have a hard time selling it because how is someone going to find that? There's no measurements in it. There's nothing in the description. There's no keywords. But what they're going to say is, I put stuff on eBay and it never sells. Well, yeah, you're not doing your job. You got to get measurements in there. You got to get measurements in the photo. You got to get measurements in the description. You need keywords. You got to put specifics. Your lighting has to be better. Guys, I get it. We all need to be budget friendly. You can get a $20 stand-up light and just point it without its shade on you probably have one in your house, like a halogen. Get a cool white light bulb, point it at the item, and take a picture. Get a measuring tape from the dollar store for $1.25. You're going to sell it so much better. And having a picture that's sideways like that, that's never going to work. Like the algorithm and the SEOs can't read that. That doesn't know that it's a coat because it can't see that it is because it's sideways. Anyways, that's just me. Yeah, it's super dark. Remember the rocks? I thought you never got scanned. Yeah, maybe because I forgot to ship them out. Oh no, Southern. Oh, did you get a ding? Is it going to be a late upload? Oh wait, it wasn't on eBay, was it? If it was on Depop, you're good because you get like 10 days or something over there. Oh my gosh, that happens. Thoughts on background removals? I don't know. I guess that's a personal question. If your background doesn't look good and you don't have something that like a good setup, I would say get rid of it. The problem with the background removals is it doesn't always take everything and it doesn't get the item exactly right. Like I saw one page recently, this guy's selling a shirt and the background was like so busy. It had like mountains and a lake and sunshine and all this stuff. And it was so busy, you couldn't see the item. The problem isn't so much the person's eyeballs, it's the internet. So search engines have a really hard time finding things when they're convoluted and there like is so much stuff in a picture. And so that's why you see things being just kind of like plain. So if you can't make your background plain, then I would use a background remover. But if you're using a background remover to make it look like cool or fun, it's just going to be too busy. Arizona, no, it's not. I looked, I was like, do I recognize this person's name? Oh my goodness. No shade, question mark. Oh yeah, Depop, you should be good then, Southern. You should be fine. You're a pretty quick shipper anyways. So, okay, next thing we've got here. Oh, never mind, because we have to photograph this. Just kidding. Just kidding. Making things up. All right, we got to get pictures of the measurements of this. This freaking coat is so bananas. It's a 2X. Like, can you imagine wearing this somewhere? Like, you're going to get, if you want attention, if you're looking for an attention grabbing jacket, like something kind of rock and roll, I mean, this is the thing for you because you're going to get stopped like 100 times and people are going to be like, where'd you get that jacket? guaranteed, because it is, and it's in really good condition. I mean, I don't even know that this thing was really worn. Like the tag back here looks all crisp and everything. So interesting pickup that I absolutely do not remember where I got this. All right, so we're gonna do measurements. So I'm just gonna hold that there, and then I've got my measuring tape here. We're gonna get a picture of the length of it if I can. It's being obstinate. Come on, come on. You can do it. I believe in you, measurer. Where is that at? We're just gonna hold it there. So we are at 46 inches on that. Holy cow. That is a serious length jacket. All right, we got the measurement on the back there. We need to get the sleeves, which we will just use the ruler for here. Man, this thing is like so awesomely like grunge, totally thrashed aesthetic. I mean, come on, look at the back of that. I'm telling you, this is one of those pieces that if I even remotely wore this kind of stuff, I would 100% keep this. I'm just cutting off any of the little yellow strings. On this stuff that's distressed, guys, don't ever cut the little strings off of this stuff. It's supposed to be looking like that. What I'm getting rid of is the sewing threads, the little orange ones. Man, it's even got the T back. Like, you don't see that a lot, probably because of the size of the material had to be. It's not selvage, is it too? No. I was like, that would be too much. I might actually like literally faint. So if you're ever wondering about that, those are called T-backs. First company to ever do that was Levi's. And the reason they did that was because back in the day, the rolls of material, the bales of it were too small. So they didn't have enough to wrap it around the whole waist. So they did a T-back. If you ever find a vintage Levi's jacket with that T-back back there, you got money. Like, I watched one on an auction, and of course you have to take in consideration the year, and there's a million things, but I watched one on auction go for 20 grand. Not kidding. It's giving Winona. That's probably why I like it, guys. I am a massive Winona Ryder fan. Not a little bit, a lot of it. Like, huge spirit animal, want to be her when I grow up kind of vibes. All right. I don't like the background remover. It makes the image look like it's been fooled around with. Yeah, and I can agree with that. However, like I said, if you do have a background where maybe you don't have like a clean, crisp background, then the remover can be good because it can get rid of lines or your wall or something like that. So I think there's a place for it. We did have a couple questions over here on the Tubies It's Useby. Zachariah said that's fair, but mannequins are a good stand-in for people when you can't have models if the item's expensive, and that's valid. They make PS size mannequins too, which I might invest in for that reason you mentioned. I want a bigger body type. Guys see the model represents, they say 2X, 3X, and those are all good points too, Zachariah. Bye Birdie Boutique said, I love that. And hello to you, Bye Birdie. And guys, I love when people have other opinions about stuff, because you know what? That's how variety is the spice of life, and that's my favorite spice. So I'm all about that. Let's see, what else do we got? Okay, let's get I don't think we got the back of this done yet. We need to get the back of this one done. Just absolutely sick. I mean, come on. So crazy. Such a crazy jacket. And then I am going to also weigh this. So when you are doing photographs, I would always keep a scale close by, because there's going to be some stuff, and this goes for people that do calculated or flat rate, where you just don't know the weight of the item. I would say this sucker's got to be like in the 3-pound range, but I'm not totally, I mean, look at how big it is. I'm not like totally sure how much it is. So I'm going to make sure I write this down in my book and weigh it now. That way I don't accidentally undercharge for it. Yeah, so we are at 2.5 on this. So we want to make sure that we price our shipping accordingly. And that's going to differ too, depending on where you live in the country. So what I'm going to charge for shipping for flat rate is probably going to be totally different than what you're going to charge because you live somewhere different. I live in Texas, so it's kind of center. Everything kind of is You know, I judge my shipping according to how much it would cost me to ship something to Maine and how much it would cost to ship it to Seattle. That gives me a metric, and then everybody else in between is happy. All right, so it's $10.92 on that. Let's see what we got. And that is the, what was that brand again? Thrill, I think. And that was a 2X. So our measurements are, looks like our sleeves are 24. Our length was 46. So crazy. And then our bust was 22. So at least 44 around. Oh, you know what else though? I wanted to get a picture of this. In the inside, it looked like there was an extra special way to button it too. So I'm going to take a look at that and see if I need to get a picture of that. Wasn't there like a, was it this one or was it a different one? So sometimes I'll go back through something and be like, is there something? Oh, and I didn't do the care tag. Hello, what are you doing, McFly? This is one of those items where I'd have to like go back in the inventory and I forgot to do the care tag. Why do I feel like there was like some weird way to button this? No, maybe not. Oh yeah, there's just a little extra button in here. That's fine. I don't need to get that. Just a little button to keep the inside lapel done, but all double-breasteds have that. Any double-breasted jacket that didn't have that would be very cheaply made. Probably ultimate fast fashion because they didn't take the extra second to put that in there. I'm surprised that you haven't seen, I have seen the lay flat hanger. So I've seen a couple versions. I've seen the gal that actually sells them on here. Her husband makes them. We've been in contact and they just don't have any for sale right now. So that's one. Two, I did see the video of what is his name because I cannot remember the name of it. He is kind of a muscular dude. I think he's been reselling for a long time, and he has one that he made out of cardboard and stuff. They're fine. I mean, I don't know. I like the way mine looks, so I don't feel any need to do it any different. I like it how it kind of hangs kind of natural because I want people to know how it's going to fit on their body. That's just me. I don't know. Let's see. What else do we got? Okay. Yay, Ruth. Hello. Okay, we've got a little Patagonia. So this is a little cashmere sweater in really good condition. Needs a little lint roll, but it's got like a cute 4 buttons in the back. So this is like basic minimalist, soft, cozy, fall, winter, preppy style, preppy knit, academia, professor, career woman, career chick, like endless. This is an endless amount of keywords on this one for sure. So we're going to get a little lint roll on this though, because she has just some yuckies on there. Let's get her all fixed up like the beautiful cashmere that she is. Oh, it's just so soft. Goodness. All right. Just going down here, getting that. Any of those little weird little hair things. The person that's getting this is going to be the person that's probably a little bit more particular about the little hairs or little pilling or anything like that. So I've got no problem spending an extra, 2 minutes on something like this to make it look really pristine. This is not the same person that is looking to get my grunge. Oh, there is one tiny pinhole right there. We'll have to disclose that. So, which you guys, it's so common in used clothing like this to see those little things. Just disclose them. Knock $4 off. Someone can go in there and pop a stitch in it. When I first got started, I would literally go in and pop stitches and things like that. And then I was just like, what am I doing with my life? Why am I doing this? It's not worth my time. And how I factor that in is I know how much an hour I expect to make. If I can't make that up in the activity that I'm doing, then I probably have no business doing that activity. And that goes for sewing stuff. So you have to ask yourself if it's worth it. Now, is it worth it to pop a little button on? Yeah, it definitely is. Sewing a button on takes me about 3 minutes. And, but I will only do it on shirts that are worth something. I have a Pendleton Brooks Brother that I need to put a button on. I've got a vintage Ralph Lauren. These are things I'm going to make, $60 on. So I have no problem doing that. This little sweater here is in good condition, other than that one little stitch. I'm just going to do a little detailing here, and sweater looks great. Looks great. Looks wonderful. We are going to lay those arms out here so that it looks even and natural. Am I going to fold in? Let's see. Sometimes I just like to look. Oh yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of like that with the arm out on this one, actually, because you can kind of see, because it's so dark, I want there to be a little bit of space in between those just to break up the look of the darkness. And a lot of these kind of tricks, guys, just come from photographing enough clothing. I mean, I've literally photographed thousands of pieces of clothing at this point, and you just kind of get a feel for what starts to look good. And then you always are taking a mental note, right? Like, okay, what do I need to change for next time? I want to make sure in this photograph with the shoulders, I'm getting that Patagonia label again, because that Patagonia label is what is going to help me sell this item. So as many times as I can get that in there, the better, right? Exposures, exposures, exposures. So we're going to do that on the chest area too here. And then I am going to just take and point out this little spot. One trick you can do too is take, if you're using a light colored yardstick, is you can just take and put it behind it. And then that way people can see the size of the pinhole. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a second here. So there's that. And then I don't see any other ones. The rest of it looks good. Anything on the back here? No, just that one little one. So the person that had this probably had a little extra cash to burn. And I say that only because I know the sale that I got this from. And they did have a little, they spent a little bit of money on clothing. And so it gets like one little pinhole and they're out. So I will pick that up all day, every day, baby, and get it resold, because I know it'll resell even with that little pinhole in there. All right, get those little guys there. And then there's one little goober guy. And this comes in when we get our little bit of water. If you're trying to clean stuff on the fly, just get yourself a little bottle of water. This is just water and a little rag. So what I do is I spray it kind of not super close because you'll create a dark spot, but I'll just kind of mist it a little bit. And then I'll just take my little rag if I see something that looks funky and just kind of do a little that. Like there's one little tiny spot on that. There we go. All gone, all fixy. Got a little pilling back here on the back as well. We're going to clean that up real quick here, and then we will get it photographed. Am I trying to make this perfect? Nope. I'm just trying to get anything off that I think would be a major complaint for a customer. They're buying a used sweater. As long as I'm just claiming the information, then they know what they're getting. I'm not hiding anything. They're happy with their purchase, and everybody is in a good mood and excited to move forward with their life. So you picture the tag here. All right, did I miss anything here? Let's see. Annie says, I agree with you on that one, probably about the hanger. Yeah. Yes, those are great for big items for sure. Yeah, those would be good, thrifty, for like the really super wide ones, because those are hard to photograph sometimes. Like when you've got like the super wide shoulders, for sure. I just noticed your Halloween decor, Havoc. Thank you. They look cute here, but like I'll turn this one off. You can see them a little bit better. They're really cute when it gets a little bit darker out too. Like they make my room happy. I got them. I wanted to get ones off the old TT shop, but they just didn't really have any, which I was really surprised about. So I went over to the Smile store, and I actually put those in the old link dinketer if you want to go check them out for yourself. They're really cute. They weren't very much. And you guys know I always treat myself to like one little gadget or something every time we get a payout. I'll treat myself to a little gadget or a little decoration or something like that. Because I mean, you gotta treat yourself a little bit, right? All right. So you got our little cashmere thing. It's got its one little, whoopsie little pinhole. Oh, and I was going to show you what I mean by that, what I do. Let me get this in a bag and I'll show you guys. Oh, thanks, you guys. Thanks for inviting people out too. Callie, I see you inviting Rise. I see Aaron. Thank you for the invite. Sylvia, thanks guys. Okay, so let's get a picture of this one here. So one little trick you can do in the pinhole, just so people know what the size of it, especially if it's like a shirt where it's black on black and you can't really see that, is you can take your measuring thing and you just pop it behind the pinhole. And that way, when the person zooms in, they can see, oh, that's got a little thread on it, but they can see the size of it a little bit better. Otherwise, if you take a picture of it and they can't see it, it's really hard for them to get an idea on the size of it unless you like literally put a little measuring tape or something next to it, which is fine too. It's just a little trick I do whenever I have like something that's like super black on super black like that. And you can't, I'd be like, there's a pinhole. Someone might miss that. And then I'm going to get a message that says there's a hole. And I'll be like, oh, what's in the description? They're like, well, I didn't read it. So that way it's like, it's in a photo. You can't dispute that. Gracious is here. All right, let's get that. And then we're going to do one more, guys. And then I'm actually going to grab some lunch. That one little bite of avocado toast is not going to hold me over for sure. All right, and this was a women's small, 100% cashmere, no date stamp on that, which doesn't really matter. It's definitely got like a retro feel to it, but it's not retro, I don't think. So we got chest is 17. We've got a length of 25. And then we've got a shoulder of 15. And then this is a good example of what I'm going to write on the bottom of mine here. So I write the brand, the SKU number, the size, the specs, and then I write PH on things, and that lets me know there's a pinhole. It's just to remember that that's, you know, what it is. On this one, 2.5, that tells me that it's 2.5 pounds. This one, 2012, that's the date. So I just write like one little thing down there, like something that I really don't want to forget. All right, let's do one more here. Let's go out with a little bit of a banger, you guys. So this is a crazy find. This is a vintage Burberry jacket. This is the bomber. And you can tell, look at that old school label here. Now, unfortunately, it does have a little bit of distressing up here. It's got a couple little spots. I'm not going to mess with it because the person that's getting this is going to get it either A, to keep the jacket like this, or they're going to get it because they want the fact that this entire inside is lined with the iconic Burberry plaid. And so because of that, we should be able to get a pretty good price on this one. I would say this is probably, just judging by the feel of it, probably like a 90s. Yeah, probably like a 92 or 93. It's got a run down here in the ribbing, but I mean, it even has the plaid underneath the collar for the pop collar. Like, so it's in really pretty okay condition for the age. So I keep slipping when I hit the like, I got bingo in there though. So you photograph everything, make notes, and upload and post later. Yeah. So Letty, I do everything I do in this entire reselling thing by batches. I photograph everything in a batch. I list everything in a batch. I cross-list everything in a batch. Everything I do is like that. I do all my shipping at once. I order all my supplies the first Sunday of every month. I try to like do it like that. It just helps to maximize my time. I take one day of the week and I do all of my washing. So on Sundays when I'm just hanging out in my jams, I do all my washing. So I do all my OxyClean spray stuff. I throw it all in the wash, off the sew button on if I need to. And I do like some admin work, stuff like that. So I'm such a slow poster because I'm doing it all at once. Yeah, when you do that, it's like this. And I like using this as a metric. So imagine you're shipping, right? You're using this. Ready? Pick it up, set it down. Pick it up, set it down. 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds. 4 seconds every time. If I ship 8 items, that's 30 seconds. If I ship 16 items, that's a minute of my time has been wasted by setting something down, which is why I've got a little tape thing taped to my table that I use, which is this thing here. I'll show you guys. Never mind the messy table, but I use this thing here for my tape, right? Because I can just peel a piece of tape off. That's just one example of something you can do. Every time you stop and start something, it also, and there's a great TED talk on this. there's every time you stop and start something, your brain, it takes it a certain amount of time. And I don't remember what it was. I don't want to misquote it, but it takes a certain percentage of time to be able to get back into the process you're doing. So every time you write something down and then you go on the computer, it takes your brain a second to figure that out. And then you cross listen and take your brain a second to figure that out. So if you do it in batches, you're going to get so much more stuff done. Alma, thank you for the follow. Letty, I hope that helps you out too. Cortez, good to see you. All right, let's get our last thing done here. I, of course, need to do more photographing today, but I'll probably do that off air. Nothing against you guys, but I'll get a little bit more done when I hammer them suckers out and we'll get it off. Letty, don't worry about it. No problem. And yes, we all feel overwhelmed. Man, guys, true story. I literally cried. Okay, I had a couple adult beverages. I took a bath. This was like, maybe a year and a half ago when I first started dabbling. I was so overwhelmed by trying to get my mom's stuff listed. I literally am in the bath with like a bottle of vino and in my feelings. And I'm just in the bath bawling because I felt so overwhelmed doing this, which is probably why I didn't go full time faster, because I felt overwhelmed. And then I felt guilty about being overwhelmed, which is so silly, right? The things that go on our heads, the lies we tell ourselves in our heads that aren't real. So if you guys have ever felt like that, give some hearts so Letty knows. Everybody give a little love out there. We all have been there. We all have felt it. Take a deep breath. One thing at a time, girl. One thing at a time. Work on just getting batches done. Try batching up your stuff. One item listed. Get another listed. Get 3 listed. Then go in and get those 3 items cross-listed. And then get pictures of 3 items and get those 3 items listed. And then get those 3 items cross-listed. And then you're going to get to be able to celebrate your successes and give yourself a pat on the back rather than feeling bad. Sophie with the love. Gracious with the love. Briar with the love. I love it. Guys, see? Oh, Brianna's here. I was wondering if we were going to see you today. Okay, let's get this up here and get our little vintage Burberry jacket photographed. So, yeah, somebody may keep this, but they may not. Oh, does this have... Oh, wow, there's some other interesting things in here I don't understand. I mean, man, the time and attention that clothing lines used to give to stuff, can we just give a love out to old school clothing and how amazing and wonderful it was back in the day? The attention and detail. I think that's why the vintage aesthetic and the thrift aesthetic has become so big, is because people have realized the quality that is missing even in high-end brands. For anybody out there that buys high-end purses, you all know what I'm talking about. Now, I don't buy high-end purses. I wear a $3 fanny pack. No shade to the high-end purses, man. If I could get away with that look and felt comfortable with it, I'd rock it. But you look at a newer bag by the same brand that did their bags. You look at even a newer Coach bag, right? Or you look back at the old satchel saddle bags with all the overly intricate, just you pick one up and it gives you a feeling. It's just this beautiful feeling. And the new ones are pretty and there's nothing wrong and they're still really well made, but it's missing something. It's like when you're eating a stew and you're like, gosh, man, the last time I made this, it was so good. Why was it so good back then? And it's not as good this time. And you realize you forgot a bay leaf, right? It's just the bay leaves are missing, guys. They're missing from the new clothing. Where is the bay leaf? Why is it not there anymore? I miss that old aesthetic. And I think that's why I like older stuff so much. Alma, what is the name of the backdrop? So Alma, if you go over to the Tubies, that's Ubies. You go over to the Tubies, it's Ubies, which is in my link or in my bio. Go over there and I got a 2-minute video on how I made this and the supplies I used for it. How do you recommend to clean leather shoes? So Ascension, this is the only thing I use. Now, I know other people use saddle soap. You can buy leather conditioner. So far, this has gotten me by just the Wyman's, and you can pick this up literally anywhere. I get mine from the Smile store because that's just who I am, and I literally have stuff delivered every day from them. And I think that is in the link dinker. If you're interested, price it out. See what they're charging there. See what they're charging at your local store. If it's less expensive for you to get locally, go for it. If it's the same price, you can pick it up on the Smile store. Oh yeah, no Ascension. Either way, whatever saves you guys the bang for the buck. That's what's important. So, but like I said, other people use leather cleaners and conditioners and stuff like that. Like I said, so far that's gotten me by. Now, if it's suede, I use something different. And I think, have I showed you guys this before? I don't know if I have. I think I have. If it's suede, you got to use something different. So this is called just suede, and it's literally just for suede. This bottle, Justin is singing so many songs from the other room. I wish you guys could hear it. Every time I say something, he's like, just suede, woman's cleaner. And then he's like, oh, Ma, with the question. Are you feeling funny today, honey? You're in a mood. I like it. You know why? Why? What? I can't come there. I can't leave the live, baby. What's up? Wait, no, now you have to tell me. No, you have to tell me. Was it the refi? Oh, I can't leave the camera. It'll mark me as not being in frame. All right, show me later. All right, so this stuff here, again, link indicator, this is for suede. It also works, excuse me, on nubuck leather. So if you've got nubuck leather, that's what I use for that. Oh, I'm sweating, guys. Oh, the suspense. I know. Now I'm going to be thinking about it. Exactly, Gracious. You know what's happening right now. I got steam coming in on my ears being like, what's he going to show me? What is he going to show me? All right. It's probably like a funny video or meme is probably what it is. All right. I'm messing around with the exposure here because it looks kind of weird. All right. Let's see what that looks like. Let's take a look. And I like that. All right. Messing around with the exposure again. This is what I do because I want to get it to look as close to the item color as I can. Let's just put that there. Let's take a look. Just bottom biscuit basic 0. Oh yeah, that looks nice. Oh, the collar's weird. Collar's weird. Holler for your collar being weird. Holler for your collar being weird. If your collar is weird, take a second and make it not weird. All right. Now, I am going to attempt to get as much of that plaid in every one of those photos as I can, because that just reinforces what this jacket is. So I want to try to get those, get as much of that in as I can. And it's interesting, every single thing I've ever had that's Burberry, has sold. I've never had like a really what I would call like in insanely good condition Burberry. Everything I've ever gotten has just been like vintage and stuff that I think most people just tried to throw away because they didn't realize it was worth anything. But what they don't understand is people will take something like this. I sold a bag, an old bag. The buckle was missing. The inside was falling apart. And I still sold that thing for like $80. I got it in the garbage at a sale. It was at a community rummage sale thing that they had in this like old Grange building, and they had just thrown it out. And so it was in the garbage out front. I got that, and I got a vintage Tigger shirt. All right, yeah, look at this thing. Look at that. Wow. That is in crazy good condition inside. That is in insane condition. Whoa. That is the most Burberry plaid, original Burberry plaid I have ever seen on an item, still intact. So I may be asking a little bit for this one because this is something that someone can choose to deconstruct if they want to. I mean, come on. That is absolutely sickeningly good quality. Oh, that is easily the most of that print I have ever seen. That is just wild. Look at that. I mean, come on. Wow. All right, let's take a look at our tags here. Whoa, yeah, that's an old tag. Holy smokes. Yeah, that's old. Wow. I don't know if I've got I don't see the size tag on this either. Sometimes they'll be hidden underneath the back, but I don't see it. So that doesn't have that one. It looks like it was here and someone cut it off, which, I mean, that happens. But this tag, look at this, guys. I'm going to show you this in a picture. This is old. Look at that thing. Look at that old tag. Dang. Wicked. Wicked awesome. All right, I'm going to take my D-pillar here. We're going to hit this corner. Crazy. This is a crazy find. Have I told you guys what I got this for? Did I tell you? Did I say it already? If I said it already, then this isn't funny. But does anyone want to guess what I got this for? You all are going to be like, no way. How much do you think I got it for? Gracious as I missed it. I don't think I said it. Did Miss Charity say she paid $1 for it? I think I may have said that, but it wasn't. It's 50 cents. Gracious is right. I got it for 50 cents. Ah! Oh my goodness. All right, we're gonna turn her around. I got a picture of the back here. The back is like flawless. There literally is not one spot on this back. Insane. Like, come on. 50 cents with the actual plaid pop collar. Oh my God. And it's got this on the side up here. I don't even know what that's for. Does anyone have any idea? Yeah, this is sick. I know. Does anybody have any idea what this is over here? It's got like this thing over here. What does that mean? They don't put that kind of stuff on clothing anymore. That's how you can also tell this is old. Wow. I don't even know what that is. Any guesses on that? So it's got like this crazy thing here. And then it also has a button on this side. But what is that? A scarf maybe? Maybe to like pop your collar. Oh, maybe to keep it on? Could be. Hold a scarf. That's a good guess. Attach a hood. So that's what I was thinking, but why this? Like, and it's over in the corner, which is really interesting. So usually with the hood attaches, it would have them on both sides. And it doesn't look like a button is missing over here. So it doesn't look like this was on this side. Maybe it was. Yeah. Throat latch hinges. Is that a thing? I got a Johnny Was sample jacket for $1. Dang. That's amazing. Why does it always do that restriction thing? It's like, come on. I didn't do anything. It doesn't like me talking about brands. Well, you know what, TT? You don't sell Burberry, so grow up. Okay. All right. So I don't have a picture of I can't take a picture of the size because I don't have that, but we are definitely getting a picture of the Burberry tag because people are going to want to make sure that it's real and all that. I mean, they didn't fake, stuff back then. It also has like an interior pocket. Girl, read up. You can button across the front of the collar to protect from the wind. Oh, interesting. Okay. I want to try this on because now you guys have me like overly curious on this. Okay. So if I put it on, you're saying that this here what does this do? Because this would button, right? You got the regular button. And this feels like this must be like a guy's medium maybe. So buttons here. And then it's got this here and this here. Throat latch hinges. Yes, that's it. Yeah, I'm just trying to understand why it does that though. Oh yeah, maybe Sarah. They're so silly about what they want you to say. Yeah, okay, Gracious. I'm seeing that. I'm gonna have to look up and see what they use those for. Let me type this in. Throat. Okay, let me take a look here. On a coat. Oh, got it. Thank you. Gracious, you're the winner. You win. Got it. Sick. Makes sense. So then when you button this up, it keeps, oh, come on. That's insane. Oh, no, gracious, you get to take the cake on that one for reals. Seriously, I would have never figured that out. Okay, so I need to put that back on the hanger then. Wow. Well, that's got to up the price on this too. If there's something like that unique, like that's wild. How crazy. They need to bring these back. Yeah. I mean, like I was saying, it's like fashion nowadays just seems like it is all so watered at this point that you just don't get like the stuff that you used to get. All right, zipping this up here. And then I'm definitely going to get a picture of that because that's something that's like so unique. And thank you for telling me what that is because I can put that in my listing. I'm telling you right now, I never would have gotten that. I literally never would have figured that out. I would have been like, I would have just thought something was consistently missing. Oh yeah, look at it. Even has pictures of Burberrys that have that. Wow, that's crazy. That is just wild. Okay, let me get a picture of that there. Perfect. Yeah, there's this really crazy, unique feature, honey, on this jacket that I would never have figured out. It's like are you right there? Let me show you. It's actually really cool. So this is one of those things I got for like 50 cents at that sale. And it's a vintage Burberry jacket. It also has a little bit of wear on the collar here. I'm just going to get as many pictures as I can of this because I'm going to be selling this sucker for a little penny. But look at this. So Gracious, that's in the live, figured it out, but it goes like this. So it came buttoned like this. Okay. It came like this. He's watching me through the camera. It came like this, but what you do is you take this corner off and it's to help protect you against the wind. So when you pop the collar, then you move this over and then you button this here. That's so wild. What a neat design. Yeah, some of the designer clothing, you really get to see like the time and love and care that went into an idea. Hey, Kayla. I know, right? Exactly. Yeah, someone's probably going to wind up buying this jacket just for that plaid inside, though, would be my guess. Because I know a lot of people that are upcycling that, and that is a plaid that you cannot find because it's copyrighted. So, all right, so we're going to get this all tidied up here. And, oh, yeah, and that zipper is like super tender, too, at the bottom here. So I'm going to take a picture of that. This zipper is like super, super tender. I'm going to say that this, like I said, I think that this will sell because someone's probably going to upcycle it into something else. Hopefully they'll keep that collar and use it for something, but like it's definitely lived a life and was worn well. Yeah, it's such a simple design too. I agree, Gracious. Okay, let's get this in here. What's that? No, Mia Zapata would be fine with it because it doesn't have any strings on it. If it had strings on it, Mia Zapata would not be happy about that. 99.9% of people watching this would have no idea what I'm talking about. But just Google the Gits and Mia Zapata and you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, so we've got, this is 1093. That's our BB. We don't know the size on that. It definitely has a tender bottom part of the zipper. I would say that it needs to probably be replaced. Some stuff I'll replace the bottom zipper. I have like stuff to do that. But on a vintage piece, I ain't touching nothing. Because the second I do that, it is now an upcycled item and it is not the original. So I don't mess with anything that's vintage. If it's like a 2014 jacket and I just need to put a new zipper head on it, I've got a Patagonia that needs a new zipper top, that's fine. But something like this, no stinking way are we messing with that. True. All right, and our sleeves are 21. Our length was 25. Yeah, this is definitely like a men's medium. and our shoulders are a 17. All right, you guys, I'm going to jam and jelly out of here. I can feel my attention span waning, which means I desperately need to eat something. The time for the fasting of the day to be over. So you've got a vintage Burberry charge code I need to get listed then. Yeah. Oh yeah, Sarah, are you kidding me? Like, dude, especially as we're moving into fall, like those bring in a good money. You can get like $150, $200 for some of those vintage trenches, sometimes even more, just depending on the condition of them. All right, later, gracious. Bye, you guys. Thanks so much for joining. 14,000 hearts on this one, which is unprecedentedly insane for just one of our morning picture taking ones. Denise, I will see you later as well. Thanks you guys so much for coming in. I will be back on tomorrow. I will put up a post. There'll be a little register button. You can click on it so you can join in. Also, I think Southern said that she was going to do a Y2K haul later tonight. So that Southern Treasures is how you can find her. I'm going to check that out too. So have a great day, Havoc. You guys are so welcome. I hope I added value to you. I know you added value to me, and everyone that's over on the tubes. Thanks for hanging out with us as well. I will catch you guys on the flip side and see you tomorrow. All right. Bye, everybody.